Overture, baby, I'm fucking done! We're done! We did it! Woo! Christ. Alive. Jesus H, his name was. And I heard through the grapevine that he really liked the show. Thank you, Lumos, for the Akasupa. I'm an idol. Idoru? Eh? Jimmy Idoru? Eh? Oh my god, Phoenix, thank you so much for the soup. I just want to quickly say thank you to everybody. Say thank you to everybody. Rinaria, thank you for the Akasupa. Noah, thank you for the Akasupa. Thank you so much. And Wednesday, thank you so much. Okay. Everybody. Ali Fang, thank you for the Akasupa as well. Goodness me. The kindness, it washes off you like water. Listen. I'm so happy that everything went so fucking good. I have so much to talk about today. So many stories, so much behind the scenes. Where do I even begin? Kumaki Yui-chan. Luke, thank you so much. Listen, I think that the experience of traveling out to Japan, spending pretty much a whole month with my friends working on this show, I think it is one of the greatest things that I've ever done in my life. And I think that the whole experience from beginning to end is probably some of the most happiness that I have felt in centuries. And I don't mean to downplay any of the other amazing happy moments that I have had the luxury of living while I have had this job and while I have been here with you. But working on Overture was something very, very special. And I really want to talk about that today because I've only been home for a little bit and I already miss it to death, to be honest. Remy, thank you so much. Naku, thank you for the Akasupa. I'm so glad you enjoyed the show. I'm so happy that you enjoyed the show. Oh my goodness. Yua, thank you so much for the Akasupa. You're being very, very kind to me as usual. I shouldn't be surprised by this, but it'll always feel great. Yuki, thank you for the Akasupa. The Chad, as always, with just an emoji. Fuku, thank you so much for the super. Kairos, thank you for the Akasupa. Covering one of your favorite songs. Yes, we'll get to all of that. Misty, thank you for the Akasupa. I'm so glad you liked my style. Lulu, thank you. Kusako, thank you for the Akasupa. Continue to support me, thank you so much. Ian Daisuki. I agree. Ian Daisuki. So let's start from the top, shall we? Ayachi, thank you so much. Michiko, thank you for the Akasupa. Saiko! Aishiteru! Hina-chan, thank you for the Akasupa. I love you too. Thank you so much. And Koyuki, thank you for the Akasupa. Could I hear the cheers? I could hear the cheers just fine. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we were literally there. We were literally there on that stage. The crowd... So, from the beginning of the show, those of you who were there, and you can even hear it in the VOD, I'm surprised it was that loud. But you can hear me backstage say, Overture! Right at the beginning. So we were, we were there. We were right there with you, and we could hear you and everything. That was one of our Mane-san's idea. They wanted us to, basically, you know how when you put your hands in the middle, you stand in a circle and you put your hands in the middle, and then you go like, one for all for one, and one for all kind of thing. So they asked us to do that, and they asked who can be loud, and I was like, hey, listen, If you need someone who's loud, I'm right here. And so they agreed that the person who should do like the big chant at the end was me. But when we got together and did it, I decided, you know what? I need to give everyone a pep talk, like an actual pep talk. And before we went on, the others were really, really nervous. Like, not everybody, but a few people in particular were really, really struggling and were so scared. And I don't blame them, because there were so many people there and we'd worked so hard, and just the thought of something going wrong was so scary. But I just brought them in. I was like, all right, team, listen up. You have done so much. You know that you're ready. And I made sure to let them know that I was proud of them and that I knew they were going to do great. And I saw them start. I saw a couple of people start like tearing up while I was talking. I was like, I'm so good at pep talks. But I was just really, really happy that we got to do that. And I was like, overture! And then when you guys cheered from the audience, I think that gave us like the motivation we needed to just get out there and do everything we wanted to do. Gosh, there's so many super chats. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you so much. Chilik, thank you for the Akasupa. Yes. Can't believe you chose to sing King. Well, we'll get to it. Today, I've got so much I want to talk about. I want to go through the whole set list and talk about everything that I thought about everything, because I have so many thoughts about this whole thing. So thank you very much, everybody, for the super chats. Kuroi 2.0, thank you for the Akasupa. Thank you so much. Clover, thank you for the Akasupa. Thank you very, very much for your kindness. Hakuma, thank you for the Akasupa as well. Koyuki, thank you for the Akasupa. Wa. Yayako. Yui. Stoko, my bad. Sable, thank you. YN, thank you. And Angie, thank you for the Akasupa. Milov. Enduk, thank you for the super as well. Okay. So let's start from the very, very beginning, where it all began. I was informed that I had been selected to be a part of the performance. I think pretty much a year ago now. It might be a little over a year ago. And like I mentioned on the little post show that Prof put together for us, or like I mentioned on the Tokaido Shinkansen special talk, which is still available if you are traveling that way. You can still listen to those talks. I am very much approaching this from a foreigner's perspective, and I still have. And at the time, I still didn't really understand what calling something a live meant. You know, live as a noun. In English, live usually is a verb. Something is live. So calling it a live or calling it a stage, I didn't fully understand what that meant. So I was excited, and of course I said I'm thrilled to take part. But then when the kickoff meeting happened and I realized how huge it was, I was like, oh boy. Because you have to remember, at the time, we had this sort of big kickoff meeting where they informed how it was all going to work and everything like that. They let us know about that. I think it was while I was editing Minotaur. I remember attending the meeting while I was still in Japan editing Minotaur on my laptop. And so at the time, it was a while ago. And then I was like, man, I'm so keen to get to do this, right? I was really, really excited because like I mentioned for AR Live, I had so much fun doing, and I was really, really happy to be a part of it. But there was a little pang of like regret in me while we were doing AR Live, because I realized, just like with Overture in the early stages, I didn't really understand what it was. I didn't get what the whole thing was, because the language live, stage didn't really make sense to me. And so during AR Live, during rehearsals, when I watched the others performing, I felt, God, I wish that I had a solo. I wish I could have done something that was mine, instead of just be like a part of the group songs. But even then, I was so happy to be there to support everyone else. So when Overture came around, I was like, thank fuck. Okay, this time, I'm ready. This time, I'm gonna fucking bring the thunder. This time, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna put everything into this. The moment I understood exactly what was at stake, I was like, this is gonna be amazing. And I'm gonna do everything I can to make it amazing. Memeshkite Cheerleader was my solo. Yeah, the little dance number there I can say that. I can say that. That was pretty cool. And so time goes on, and the first thing we needed to do was choose which songs we were doing. And for most of the songs, I basically left it up to the others. I was asking, for suggestions, and then would weigh in and say, I like this one, I like that one, and so on and so forth. But the thing about this is, like, when it comes to Japanese music, when it comes to stuff like Vocaloid or anime intros and stuff like that, I'm very unfamiliar with that kind of music, and that's, the kind of the pool of things we were working with. So I just sort of had to leave it to the others, and then I was like, well, I'm just going to have to learn a lot of new music. And the song, we all kind of came to a point where we had chosen stuff. But then I had some other choices for mine that actually, when I submitted my choices, King was not one of them, actually, because I hadn't occurred to me. I suggested some basically just songs from anime that I'd seen. One of the ones I thought about doing was, I'll go through my different choices. One of the, let me see if I can find it in my Spotify liked, was Period by Chemistry. The intro from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I really like that song. My number one choice actually was a suggestion from, I chatted with Marilyn about this a long time ago. We wound up, on one of my days off, I was playing some World of Warcraft and hanging out on Discord, and then Marilyn joined, and we chatted for a while. And I asked her, I said, my suggestion to her, and I asked her for some help, and I said, I really want something that's going to hype up the crowd. Like something where they'll hear the start of it and go, oh, it's this, and then I can bring a lot of energy. And her suggestion, which was my first choice for a while, was Bararaika. I really like that song, and that's why during the group karaoke that we did back in, I think, November, that's why when Marilyn sang that, I joined in. I don't know it very well still, because ultimately I didn't go with that, but that would have been my solo. That was my first choice for a while. But then, had a meeting with Mane-san, as we do. We have one-on-ones with our managers quite often. Spoke with Mane-san, and Mane-san, I said, I'm really keen on these songs. Another song I thought about doing was Daddy Daddy Do. I really like that song as well, but I was like, I wanted to do it, but I was like, it seems good, but I wanted to do that one, but then I thought, I asked Mane-san, I was like, listen, this music scene better than I do. You know this music scene a lot better than I do. Can you help me understand what would get the most sort of hype out of the crowd? And Mane-san kind of smirked and was like, check this out, and sent me and I didn't need to send it to me because I'd heard it before. Reminded me that King existed, and I looked at it and I was like, okay. I was like, it has to be that. It has to be that. Because I've gone on record before and talked about King in an interesting way, because King is a song that everyone and their grandmother has covered. It's like it's a piece of VTuber history, of of NIJISANJI history, and of Hololive history, indie history. Everyone regardless of which corporation you belong to, or if you don't belong to a corporation at all, there is a high chance that you will have or will in the future cover King at some point. But I had said, I'm not really into Vocaloid. I'd rather express myself and do things in my own way and do things that people aren't expecting me to do, which is why King was so perfect. Because I've made such a big deal out of doing things that are, really specific to me in the past, the idea of then suddenly, after having made 2 films, which, is very, very, a very me thing to do, doubling back and saying, no, the most expected thing is now the most unexpected. I'm going to do a Vocaloid song, which I've gone on record saying Vocaloid's not really my thing. And it's also the Vocaloid song that everyone has covered. And I was like, fuck it, now is when I'm going to do it. And I'm really happy with how it went. And also, I owe Mane-san big time for helping me understand how I should approach singing it. Mane-san sent me a cover by this guy called Chogakuse, which I listened to a lot, and that, rather than the original version, Chogakuse's cover was the one that served as the the basis for the basis of the inspiration for how I should sing it. Because I don't think I could have figured out how to approach like that singing style without having heard like a similar example. So, you know, the octave down. King is such a high song that I struggled. It's such a high-pitched song that even when singing an octave down, the chorus still really peaks at the top of my range. Like, even an octave down, I was like, this is now becoming too high again, right? It's a very tricky song to sing, but I'm so glad that I got it down in the end and became really confident in it. Real quick for super chats. Efita, thank you for the Aka Super. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it and you had a cry. Kylie, thank you so much. Ryohei Toki, thank you so much for the Aka Super. Otsu Nijifes Overture, Otsukare sama deshita. Love you and Niji with all my heart. And I love you too! Kinoka, thank you very much. Layla, thank you very much. Classica, thank you. Misty, thank you so much. Mino, thank you very much. And Yuri, thank you so much. Okay, so that was that. But we'll get to the rest of that in a bit. Then, you know, we started practicing, and the part that I struggled with the most, the part that gave me the most, the part that I bellyached over, and the part that caused me the most stress was before we flew out to rehearse together was, you know, you need to learn all of these songs. So I'm in 8 songs. You need to learn these songs, and you need to know them off by heart. And I'm sorry, buddy, they're in a language you don't speak. That was the part that gave me the most trouble. Because not only is it trying to remember how to pronounce all of these words, it's remembering what parts of those words mean. It's remembering to, you know, while you're dancing as well, there was a long time where I was like, I don't know if I can, like, I think one of the reasons why, you know, I didn't stream very much at the start of, I haven't streamed very much this year because not just was it so much work to rehearse those songs so thoroughly, it was also very stressful for me to, you know, wonder, can I actually do this? And there were so many parts where I genuinely thought, I don't actually think I can do this. I was like, I'm grateful that staff wanted to give me a chance to shine like this, but I don't know if I deserve this spot on the cast. I was like, I really don't think, maybe they didn't make the right choice. So I just kept doing it. And every day, I thank God for this fucking vocal booth that I've got, because I was there screaming my fucking lungs out every day trying to do this. And some of the lines from these songs was so hard for my little foreigner brain. Okay, some of the lines from like Wanito Shampoo and Sign in particular was such tongue twisters for me. And I was struggling so much. And I was so stressed. There is like, I got to a point where I started like recording myself so that I could listen back and kind of point out what I found is that having done covers before, when you sing something, it can sound good then, but then you listen back to it on mic and you're like, actually, there are some problems here. So I did that to do it. And so there is audio of me going like trying to pronounce the same line and then fucking it up over and over and over again and saying, fuck! What is wrong with me? I was like, there's so much like that, you know, like real like crash outs of me trying to do this. But I think I was just forged in the flames of that, and that gave me such a thing. And the amount of videos that I watched, how to do this technique, breathing techniques, breath exercises, how to do this, how to do that, the amount of knowledge of singing that just I needed to beam into my brain to pull through was insane. And there was so many parts where like I was like, I actually don't think I could do this, but then we did it. And it was going out and spending time with the others that made it so much easier. And I remember chatting with Ike about this, and he said it's called musicking, is that when you're alone and just trying to like practice by yourself, you'll never sound as good as when you're with the band, when you're with your friends, and when you're in a big room and you're practicing like that. Suddenly, when I was around the others, I was hitting high notes that I've never hit before. And I don't understand how that works, but maybe it was all the practice paid off at just the right time. Sonny told a story on his stream about how like he and Ike were quite impressed that I managed to hit a high note. And it was when we were rehearsing Sign. We were rehearsing Sign, and my line, you know, I think it's I don't even know. Maybe it's pre-chorus. The pre-chorus. It's kakita anonaki goe wa. The fact that like that one line, I think. Subete wa kono toki no tame ne. That gave me more trouble than anything else in this entire show. I hated learning that line. It sucked so much. And before we all flew out, I still couldn't hit it. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But then when we were all rehearsing together, we were doing the choreography, I just hit it. Suddenly it worked. I didn't understand how, but I just kind of hit it. And I couldn't believe it myself when I heard it back. I was like, oh my God, what? It's been weeks of me cursing myself because I couldn't hit this one note. And I was considering, like, how should I do it? You know, Sign was so tricky because I was like, should I do it in a lower octave or in the normal octave? Because in a lower octave, so I wound up going with the lower octave for group parts. Like the chorus, when I'm singing with the others, I brought it down. Oboeteru kana namida no sora o, like that. That was when I decided to go for the lower octave because I think it supports the normal. I decided the lower octave, when I do it, kind of supports the other octaves really, really well. And it kind of gives it this meaty sound. And I like that. But then solo, if I'm doing a solo line, you know, the lower octave can sound a little flat and a little boring compared to the normal octave. So I could have hit it fine if I went Itskakita anonaki goe wa machi ga inakuso, but that doesn't sound as good. And so I was like, fuck, I've got to bring it. I need to hit that high note. And then eventually I did it, and I was so happy that I did. Layla, thank you so much. Kinoka, thank you very much. Thank you. Pinkalicious Bunny, thank you so much. Shiro, thank you for the Akasupa. Oh, Kairi nasai. Love you too. Thank you very much. Lily, thank you for the super. Yana, thank you for the Akasupa. Tai Kindred at Nichifez, thank you. I heard you shout overture at the beginning. I'm glad I could have hyped you up. Kanme, thank you so much for the super. And Red Asta, thank you for the Akasupa as well. From the Tai Kindred. Raknaka, Wallflower, and Ryo Hoshino, thank you. So that was big. But yeah, so from all of that, from rehearsing the dance and the singing together with the others, I just achieved, I guess, a level up in terms of my singing. Like I just passed a certain threshold where it's like, all right, now you can do it. Suddenly it was like I gained enough experience and I leveled up, and suddenly it was like, boom, actually your range has gone up a little bit. And I was like, oh, thank God, thank fuck for that. Thank fuck, because I was, I don't think, every time I do a big project, I say, this is the most stressed I've ever been. But I don't think I knew what stress was until my at-home rehearsal period before flying out. That, I think, is the closest I've come to fully crashing out in my life. I was like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? I was like, going through my life and thinking, what made me think I could do this? I was like, there's so much stuff that I feel like I'm doing fine at. Why did I feel the need to think I could do this too? But then I just kept going, and I'm so glad that it worked so well in the end. I'm so happy. So I won't talk too much about that time because it was honestly not great. It was not a great, January leading up to it. Just not a great month for me. Like, broadly speaking, it was just basically every day was waking up, having the right kind of food, that's soothing to the throat, getting a huge kettle full of warm water, and then just belting as hard as I could for hours until my voice gave out, and then all I could do was sit and play video games and feel sad that I still couldn't do it. That was just my life. But in the end, it worked. But enough about that. I forged my vocal cords in the fucking flames of anxiety, and now I'm so much better than I thought I ever could be. And that is so cool. That's so cool. Enduk, thank you. Mana, thank you so much. Sei, thank you for the Akasupa. Can't erase your Japanese level 1? Maybe. I have learned some more Nihongo. I did learn some more Nihongo while I was there. Just little bits and pieces. I think I'm starting to understand sentence structure a tiny bit, and I've got a few phrases that I can do a little bit. Nihongo de Brazil, wakarimasu ka? O hisashiburi desu. I've learned a few good words, so. But I do want to keep learning. Yorihama and Liven, thank you so much. So, we arrive, and when I think about how long this was, what's crazy about an experience like this is that time passed so quickly, but so slowly as well. Like, now that I'm home, it feels like I've not been gone at all. You know, like I recognize where I am so much, but when I think about the first day, when I think about, you know, landing and meeting up with the others, I'm like, oof. It feels like it was years ago that we first got there. It feels like it was years and years and years ago. Thank you, Didier, for the super. Proud of you too. Thank you. But we got there. Had a little bit of time to relax, of course, you know, get acquainted. And it was what was really, really fun, actually. We kind of, I feel like we all bonded so much, and I'm so grateful for that. When you're me, you know, there are not many Europeans in NIJISANJI EN, and even less British people. So a lot of the time, I get really lonely. I get really lonely sometimes because time zones are tricky, and there's only so much. You can connect with people a lot online, but there's nothing like meeting people in person. And so when we were all out there, everybody got along very, very well, like very, very well. And so the first day that we were there, I thought I wanted to just relax in the hotel, but Marilyn, I think she talked about this on her stream, had an idea, and so it was me, Renjamin, Enna, and Marilyn, and we went out and we went exploring a little bit, went to get some food, and we went to this insane place that I'll never get over. It's this like foot bath cafe. Marilyn mentioned this, and I was like, what the fuck? A foot bath cafe? And we went, and it was, yeah, there's a trough of warm water, and you put your feet in there, and then it's a lovely, relaxing foot bath. And then you can get some tea, and they come out and they give you a massage. And so we all sat there in a row just having a massage, and it was like, man, I felt it kind of was like when I went to onsen with Claude. There's something about getting massages with everybody that was just really, really nice, you know? No, it's not a fish pedicure. I believe those might be illegal now. I think there was some animal cruelty thing with fish pedicures, unless I'm wrong. I feel like people said that fish really enjoyed your dead skin, when it turns out it actually, believe it or not, dead skin just isn't really very good for them. Which, you know, so it was just a foot bath, you know, that was meant to soothe the feet, and it was nice. So it was just a great way of kicking everything off, you know, group bonding. Yeah, we just sat and got a massage together, and we were all so relaxed and chilled out. And then we went to karaoke, and we practiced some of the songs that we were going to be doing again. I remember singing Juanito Shampoo with Marion, and that was really, really fun. Sang Mixed Nuts with Anna, and that was really fun. And then practice kicks off, and we meet up with my Oshi, my goat. I'm so glad that we get to talk about him. Dance Sensei Satoshi-san, who we chatted to on Twitter recently. I'm so glad he made a big post saying that he was the one who, because I'm so glad that we get to talk about just the most lovely man ever, like top 3 most lovely people I've met in a long time. He I believe was the same choreographer who helped us with AR Live, but we really got to work with him a lot more for Overture, and more rigorously rehearse, for that, because a lot of the choreography was much more intense, and It was, he spoke excellent English, and was so just eager to let us weigh in, right? And I remember, sato subarashi. I said that I said that to him, and he was like, oh, hasukashi. But he was just wonderful, just the kindest person ever. And if ever, so I'll talk about like early rehearsal phase. So on the first day so there are songs for the boys, songs for the girls, and then mixed songs with boys and girls. And so we split it up, and we had the first day of dance rehearsal was a boys rehearsal day. So it was me, Sunny, Ike, Ren, and we were practicing our solos and Sign and Monster City, and going through all of the choreography from that. And then when it got to my turn to practice for King, Satoshi Sensei had already designed part of the choreography, but I went up and I said, okay, can we do some more with this? And I felt bad for the others because I kind of took a decent amount of time to sort of design, like work with Satoshi Sensei and like design more for it. So from the beginning, the chair was always going to be a part of it, considering the iconography from King is all about, being sat in the throne with like the bearing the fangs and all of that. But I thought, whenever I thought about the song and whenever I would practice it to myself, I was like, I think that this song is too fast and too energetic to act cool with, like, I think whenever I pictured myself on stage performing the song, I would see myself doing insane footwork and like revving up the crowd in a way. And so I kind of spoke with him, and I said, I think less so than being an aloof, powerful ruler, I think I want to be like a mad king, a tyrant, someone who. I'll talk more about the choreography for King when we start talking about the actual set list, but I came up with all of this different stuff, and so there was some dancing that I tried to learn that really fucked up my thighs. Not fucked them up in a bad way, like I just got a really, really good thigh workout. There was one point when King I was doing Cossack kicks, where I was dropping down and like kicking out and then jump up, down, cross legs, down, boom, boom, boom. And I love doing that, but it was such murder on my thighs. I was like, I cannot rehearse this and then also rehearse the other songs. So we went with some other stuff for it in the end, and it worked out just as well. But yeah, that was why I tweeted, I can't feel my legs originally, because my legs were dead for a long time after the first rehearsal. Like, that shit was hard to do, but you get stronger. Harder, better, faster, stronger, as they say. Nyanya and Nyantora, thank you so much for the super. So rehearsal went like that. We were chilling, managers are there helping us out with everything, and you're just running through it. Sign was a great reference point because we all learned it. All the boys learned that together, and it felt like, I don't know, it felt like as we went through the month, every time it was time for the boys to rehearse, we would do Sign, and every time we were just that much better at it. And I think like a full 2 weeks before the, performance, we were doing Sign with no issues whatsoever. Literally, like, not a single problem, and we had just mastered the choreography from that very early. And every time we did it, it was a big confidence boost. It was a big confidence boost every time when we were doing Sign, because we knew that shit off by heart. And practicing the singing alongside it, feeling myself improving at those high notes, I was like, yeah, it really revved us up. So that was good. And time went on. Everybody was just working together so well, and we came up with all these little ideas along the way. And we ate food together. We chilled out together. We hung out. We did so much. And when stuff like that is happening, you don't really realize how much you love it until it's almost over. because the show, the Time's arrow marches on. Time's arrow marches on, and eventually, before we knew it, it was time to go. It was time to get started and do the show. And then when you do the show, well, that's it. Once it's done, and you can go home. But I didn't realize how much I was like, I already cared for all of these people so much, but I didn't realize how much more I was like, I cared about them until the time would come to go home. But that's neither here nor there. It was a really magical experience, which is our company slogan, interestingly. Yukimi, thank you for the Akasupa. I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. So glad. GB Prince, thank you. So, let's talk about the show. Okay, also, couple little trip stories before we do. Couple little trip stories. I guess I'm doing this in chronological order. So one day, I was like, hey everybody, I really want to get sushi. I made a reservation at a sushiro near to us, and I said, guys, let's go here at this time and let's get sushi. But then I started getting a little sleepy, and I thought, well, gosh, we have been working hard. I'm gonna take a quick nap. I'm gonna take a quick little nap. I set my alarm for just 1 hour, and then I was like, well, I'm gonna have a little nap, and then I'm gonna shoot off, and we're gonna go get sushi. I awake with a start when I hear Sonny Briscoe's voice in my room. Because the doors at this hotel, if you just open it and then walk in and let it close on its own, most of the time they wouldn't fully close. They would just kind of, stop ajar by just a little bit. So unfortunately, me being as forgetful as I am, my door was wide open quite a lot of the time. And I would shut it whenever I remembered to, but I didn't remember to very often. So my door was open while I was asleep. Obviously, this is, Sonny, he didn't come in, but through the ajar door, you think he opened it a little bit and checked on me and asked, hey man, what's going on? And when you're fast asleep and it's dark and you hear someone's voice close by, to me, with what I've been through in my life, that is, someone is coming to kill me. So I woke up and I screamed, ah, 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 ah! Like, he said it sounded like I was at the pearly gates. I remember what it was like. I screamed because I thought someone had broken into my room. And then he said, oh, dude, what, are you all right? And I was like, yeah, God. What's going on? And he said, we went to dinner without you. And I was like, what? What do you mean? What time is it? I checked my phone and it was 11 p.m. And I literally said, you're trolling! Fuck! And then it was, I think it was him and Marion who came to check on me, and they just went off to their rooms and like, they just kind of said, yeah, get some rest, buddy, and just laughed and left. I was like, oh, fuck. I was just dead asleep. I mean, I'm glad they went and got their own food, because they didn't have the reservation details, so they couldn't go and get sushi. So I was just, yeah, I slept through the whole thing. I never sleep through my alarm. Every time my alarm goes off, I'm like, good morning. That time, I guess I'd just been working too hard. And my body was like, no, my son. No, my son, you must rest. You must rest for now. It will be okay. It doesn't matter that your door is ajar. It doesn't matter anyone could walk in and draw a penis on your face. It does not matter. Don't worry. But it was fine. It turned out to be fine in the end. And then, another thing about Sonny. I had a lot of fun hanging out with Sonny on this trip. Sonny wouldn't stop aura farming. You may have noticed when you watch the show that in some of the transitions between songs, when we were walking on or off stage, sometimes Sonny and the rest of us would join in on occasion, would do this low to the ground wide walk where he's swinging his arms like this. And he called that aura farming, where he's farming aura points. And he did this a lot. It was like, it started not very much, but then it was like the moment that he knew all of us thought it was really funny, and the moment some of us started doing it as well. It was like every time there was a long period of just walking when no one's really around apart from us, Sunny was just walking with this big stride, and occasionally I'd join and go like click, like that. We were farming up aura the whole time. And that just became a thing after I was Sunny's aura farming. And I thought he was going to spend all that aura on stage, but no, he just kept farming. It was crazy. His aura grind set doesn't stop. It does not stop. Succubus Nightly, thank you for the Akasupa. I'm glad. I'm very, very glad. 2 years. All because of you. I'm very, very proud of you. Very proud of you. So, I'm sure I'll remember more stories as time goes on. But. The show. So, we get ready, we get set up, I give everyone the pep talk, we are literally there, just backstage, we can see the crowd, we can hear the crowd. I'm not kidding, we are right there. Those of you who were at the show, we were right there. Okay? So, people are nervous, given the pep talk, and then we started off. Virtual Strike. Let's go through the set list. I got this ready earlier. Boom! The set list. So, first of all, Virtual Strike. I did this one in a lower octave, personally. Virtual Strike, let's raise a sail. Make the whole world involved. This is a fun song. So Virtual Strike, every single song, apart from Virtual Strike at the beginning and Arc Goes On at the very end, every song had its own detailed choreography. These songs, however, did not. There were specific places that we needed to stand, but otherwise it was all free movement, and this was for the best. Everybody got to have fun with these songs, and Virtual Strike being at the beginning, it's such a fun song, and it's easygoing, especially for those of us who aren't fully Nihongo Jozu to have a song that's in English. So it was really great. We had the cool outfit change. We were like, bah, check it out, everybody. And we did that. And it was just great for getting everybody's confidence in place. All you've got to do is remember where to stand, and then just bring your energy, sing the song, and do your little dance. And it went very, very well. The funniest part about Virtual Strike is that breakdown, which, if I'm being real, is so funny that it's in this song, because the song Virtual Strike, let's raise a sail, make the whole world involved, and then suddenly, welcome to Virtual World, boom, 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 clap your hands, everyone, boom, boom, boom. It's like suddenly you're at a rave, you know, it's funny. It's a really funny part of the song, and I think all of us started getting a little goofy. And this was something that I did during rehearsals when we were practicing our placements, I guess, for this song. The first thing that I did when I moved to the center with Marilyn, I just started headbanging. I was like, I started headbanging, and when I remember during rehearsal, everyone laughed, and I was like, okay, I've got to do it. I've got to do it now. This is like, that's gonna be my bit. That's gonna be my bit. I had an idea for something else I wanted to do, but it was a little difficult with, the stage is quite small. We don't have I had an idea for a big dance I wanted to do, but I think it would have taken up a little too much space. So that's something I want to learn for the future. Maybe you'll get to see me do something like that in the future, but you never know. Avis, thank you for the super. I'll always give my all. I'll always give my all. Shochi, thank you so much for the super. Glad you can support me. Daibu. Hang on, I can do this. Daibu. Skakyo katta de. Sugo. Kukakkoyo katta desu. Daisuki. I think what that means is that it was really good. That's another funny trip story once. It was me, Ike, and Mane-san went for a quick lunch break during rehearsals. We went to go and get udon, and we went to a tiny weeny little udon. It was either udon or soba. I can't remember. It might have been soba. Either way, went and got some noodles, and they were very good. You know, like very small family business, locally owned, just tiny little establishment. Go in, vending machine, ticket, get the thing, eat it, get out. Really enjoyed it. Having a nice chat with my boy Ike, catching up with him. You know, everything. He's doing so well and all of that. And then it was quite funny because we finished. I loved the food. Ike really loved the food, and I had never heard him do this before, but he said in a remarkably masculine tone when he finished, and like and sort of put his chopsticks down. He said to the chefs, "Oishikatta desu." I was like, damn, okay. He loved it that much. Really needed to give his appreciation, and then the chefs were very, very thankful. So I thought that was quite funny. It seemed like, I don't know, bizarrely out of character for him, but in a really nice way. Oishikatta desu. I was like, oh, she's kind of made me jump a little bit, but I'm glad that he enjoyed the food. But yeah, that was fun. So that went well. Virtual Strike went great. Then we have the introductory segment, and I had been practicing this for a while. I knew because they said, Vox, we want you to do the MC for the beginning, and I was like, yes, this is my time to shine. So the MC from the beginning starts, and I was like, here I go. And I did this every time during rehearsal at full volume. NIJIFest 2025, are you having a good time? And everyone's like, yeah. I knew I needed to do that, just like pure hype man shit. And getting everybody into the vibes. Like, I needed to just bring the full volume. Anniversary live daytime stage. I just had so much fun doing that. Activated the voice demon powers on them. Yeah. I switched on, and everybody else was switched on. As for another, thank you for the Akasupa. I hope someday you'll see me on stage again too. If they give me the opportunity to go on stage like this again, I will take it in a heartbeat. No matter how stressful it is, I'm doing this shit again if I ever get the chance. Absolutely. Wetbag, thank you for the super as well. So, MC comes and goes, gets started, and then next up, Yasuya Solar Dawn. Solar Dawn is great. I remember the first time I heard Solar Dawn. You know, we love Encounter. Encounter has just produced nothing but bangers, and when I heard Solar Dawn for the first time, I just had this big smile. I love those lyrics. So uplifting, you know. So keep on believing in wildest dreams. Enna and Illyra are so brilliant. Both of them are such stunning vocalists. And even then, even though they had the stand mic, which means, you know, limited movement, the choreography, like all of the hand movements, was really impressive. And it felt like, I don't know, when you're watching from backstage, you can kind of learn little bits and pieces of other people's choreography, but Solar Dawn, I was like getting my hands mixed up the whole time. It's tricky stuff, and they really brought it. They didn't have an easy job. You know, the first proper song that isn't, you know, Virtual Strike was getting everybody into the rhythm, and then Solar Dawn is when, all right, this is when the show is really beginning. They had a really difficult job to kind of get everyone into the vibes, but they killed it. They absolutely killed it. No issues whatsoever with Solar Dawn. Both of them made it a very impressive affair, and I was stunned by it. What's interesting is Enna was struggling a little bit. She was sort of saying, "Milord, I'm right at the beginning. Why do they have me in the free section?" Or whatever it is. But I don't think there was anyone better to choose for it. Because Enna, I like, no matter how nervous she was, she's like, "Hi everyone, I'm gonna throw up." No matter how much she might have struggled, and no matter how worried she was, we know that she is a vocalist practically without equal. she can do the most amazing things, and we know this, And so, as the first solo of the night, Hotorimito, which I'm to understand a lot of people were very excited to see. I love her choreography in particular for this. It's so stylish. And she brings such a great energy to it. And, you know, like swapping those positions. She's got so much to remember for this routine. And her vocals are so brilliant. And I loved how what she's mentioned about, you know, Hot Limit not being her normal type of song that she would do, but wanting to push herself. I think that's true for everybody. Who participated in the Overture daytime stage. Everybody wanted to push themselves. There's so much that all of us have done beforehand, but everybody wanted to do more. Like, and if you think about Enna, and how good she is to push her limits as well, her hot limit, stunning. Absolutely stunning. I loved watching this one from backstage. I thought she was so brilliant. And I knew that she was nervous, and so, you know, when she was like nailing the dance, I was like, yeah, I was like tapping my foot backstage while Ren and I were getting ready to go on, you know, and staff were checking us and giving us the all clear. Like as her song was, I was tapping my foot. I was like, yeah, come on. I felt really proud. I felt really, really proud. I knew she could do it. I'd seen her do it so many times, but to know how nervous she was and to then see her nail it on stage, I was like, I was so proud. But then came my first song, apart from the first one, of the night. Monster City. I'm in Monster City. Quite a few people who didn't have English as their first language mispronounced it as Monster City a couple of times, which I've taken to calling it that now because it makes me chuckle. It reminds me of learning it when we would go through the choreography without the music and without singing it. Satoshi Sensei would walk us through it, and he would say, and he would kind of have this thing going cha-la cha-cha, cha-la cha-cha, to kind of time it out. And then when he did Monstrosities, cha-la cha-la. And I always, whenever I think of Monstrosity, I think of cha-la cha-cha. I always think of that in my head. It was quite nice. But so Monstrosity, right? Interesting. It's funny. It was very funny for me because Monstrosity actually only came out as, you know, Ren's original song, only came out very recently. But he suggested to me that we do it a very long time ago. So I heard Monstrosity many, many, many months before you guys did. Many, 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 many months before you guys did. I was well informed about Monstrosity a long time ago, and trying to remember that no one had heard it apart from us was tricky sometimes. It's so catchy. I wanted to sing it. I'm like, no one knows the song exists yet. No. Lays, thank you for the Akasupa. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you think I've improved. I love you too. Thank you. Lorenz Lee, thank you so much. You're curious how you always speak so confidently in public. That, oddly, if we just take a detour to talk about that, because I think that's interesting. Oddly, public speaking has always been something that I've just kind of been very good at. I don't really recall when I first was called upon to do public speaking, and I know some people, it just terrifies them, and some people will, like, you know, quit their job, or they won't take a job if it requires public speaking, you know? Because it's, like, so nerve-wracking. For me, I've never even remotely felt nervous about getting on stage and speaking. That's something that I think I just get how to do. Yeah, I've never had a experience where I was nervous and then got over that nervousness. From the first time I ever did it, I just knew how to speak publicly, and I don't really understand. So I guess that makes me glad that they put me on the MC stuff and had me doing a bit of that, because I really enjoyed it. Izu, thank you so much for the super. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. So, Monster City. Monstrosity. Again, learning how to sing Monstrosity was a challenge. And I'm glad that I ran with the style that I wanted to for singing it, where I would, you know, go for those high notes during my solo lines, and then I would go for the lower octave when Ren and I shared a line. My heart's a blight, a parasite. Is this what you want? It took me a while to figure out, like, does that sound good? You know, I was like, is that good enough? Is that going to sound weird? But in the end, like, no, it was really good. It was really, really good. And believe me, right? I think, and I could never blame him for this, a big source of my anxiety and my stress going into this while I was practicing is because I was practicing alone at home. And all I knew in the back of my mind was, Ren is a really, really good singer. He is a really good musician. So I am 1-to-1, 50-50-50 sharing this stage with an absolute god at music. And then there's fucking me. And then there's fucking me who you know, is still learning so much. A lot of my anxiety came from, I don't think I can, I was like, how on earth am I going to live up to his example? But I think in the end we really did it. And I think a lot of it came from his stage presence and rehearsing with him with this song. I think that it helped me so much to kind of get rid of that level of intimidation and to feel a lot more eager, you know, and a lot more confident about what I was capable of. I love the dancing on this as well. Everybody learned the monstrosity dance before the big show, just by osmosis. Everybody's sitting backstage and we put our arms over our faces and went, monstrosity, and did the whole you know, crouch toward the ground. Everybody was doing that backstage, the little kind of like pull through the grass motion after that. Everybody was doing that. Everybody loved the dance for monstrosity. It was so fun. And then like the dance break bit, you know, some kind of madness. I can't hit that. That's why, I mean, in the lyric split, he has that line for a reason. I can't hit that shit. And then boom, 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 dum, dum, dum. I'm alone in a world that I'm tearing apart. I was so happy I hit that shit because that part I was focusing on so much that like I was focusing on landing that line so much that I kept forgetting the piece of choreography after it where we kind of look forward, look back, look forward, and then bo 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 bo. Learning how to do that was really tricky, and doing both at once and nailing it without getting psyched out. So glad I managed to do that on the day. So funny that Prof said I sounded like Nickelback. I don't think Nickelback has the meme status in Japan that it does in the West, because he was like, you sound like Nickelback. I was like, I sound like fucking what? But Nickelback is a good singer, you know. Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. I mean, I do. I can't argue with it. I can bring Girly is giving Nickelback. Bamboo, thank you for the super. You will. Sai, thank you for the super. And Sawa for the gifted, and Cerulia for the super. Thank you so much. Monstrosity was just so fun, and you know, I love the visuals on the stage for this was so impressive, and the band did such a great job. Did such a great job of kind of adding to this song, because, you know, during rehearsal we would just have like a basic instrumental, which in the case of Monstrosity was just the instrumental from the song. But then when we had the opportunity to practice with the band, they were adding so much to it, like, you know, bringing so much great shit to it. Just stunning, absolutely stunning what they added in every instance to the music that we had. So then Monster City comes and goes. Monstrosity, woo! And then it was time to get nuts. I love the tone switch. Monstrosity is, oh god, I forgot to even talk about it. So Ren suggested Monstrosity because he said, specifically, he said, I think it, you know, with the films you've made, the lyrics here kind of speak to a lot of what you've been through. And I read it and I was like, yeah. You guys remember last year? Do you remember me saying, me asking questions? Why the fuck do you still want to be my fan when you know what I've done? Monstrosity is all about that. It's all about, you don't get it. You don't know what I've done. You don't know who I've killed. And it just fit together like a puzzle piece. And I was really happy to get to do it with him. Ren's music is fantastic. I listen to Ren's music in my spare time of a decent amount. You know, all of his music is fantastic, and getting to perform one with him, man, so brilliant. So lucky. Oh my god, I keep thinking about how fucking lucky I am. But yeah, then it was time to get nuts. And the tone shift from monstrosity to Mixed Nuts has always been very funny to me. But so fun. Rosamund yelling, Mom, Dad, Dog, and then Anna going, Woof. So funny, so cute. It's also funny because I haven't seen Spy Family. I know the characters, and I know that this is the intro, but I've not seen it, so I don't know what the whole mom, dad, dog thing is about, other than I guess it's a family. I'm sure it's a fantastic show. I definitely need to watch it, but I think that's something that I enjoyed about this experience, is that being a non-Japanese speaker, when I listen to music like this, I don't know what they're talking about. But what that means is, I was mother, obviously. But I don't know what these songs are about unless somebody tells me. But what that means is I can bring my own flair to it, and I could just kind of listen to the vibes and figure out, maybe to me this song is about this. And I think there's value in that too, you know? Mixed Nuts choreo was so fun, and Mixed Nuts was the place where I decided, okay, yeah, on a solo line, I might choose to go for the normal octave, but on Mixed Nuts, I was like, fuck that! This song is impossible! Singing that, I practiced my lines in the normal octave. Fuck that, impossible. It's one of those songs written for a very specific singer, and the singer who does it in the original song, beautiful. Me? No. I improved a lot. Couldn't improve that much, so I went for the lower octave. And surprisingly, the one song that really boosted my confidence, actually, when I was rehearsing was Mixed Nuts. Because then, when I admitted, okay, I have this low range, why don't I fucking use it? And then I started rehearsing with that. I was like, actually, this is pretty good. Sukuro no something, but I'm already forgetting it. The Nihongo is already Natsu no yona. Seken de wa daremo ga sorizore de yatta. I felt like I could bring the lower octave, the super low notes, without sounding, flat and voiceless, and I really enjoyed that. But it went so low at times. It's a crazy thing, because you can't just, unless, at a certain point, it's like, well, it's too late we can't adjust the key, because that means everybody has to adjust it. If you want to sing it differently, you've got to go a whole octave down. And I was like, well, fuck it, here I go. Peanuts, mitai. I needed to kind of, and that's why I started doing that, like, rapping motion. And everybody started going like, boom, boom, boom. I sort of needed to draw attention a little bit. Like, I'm going really, really low here. But it went from mother to grandpa. Yeah, exactly. But I had so much fun doing it. The choreo is so fun and so cute. We kind of like twiddle our thumbs and bounce around and do the jumping. And we were practicing the little jumping motion. Kakushigoto darake, sugi hage darake no home, doing the little jump from side to side with the salute. Kind of hurt my leg doing that during rehearsal, but I'm glad that that I felt better on the day. It was pretty cool. Yep. So Mixed Nuts was fantastic, and just a really fun song to do. It was another time when the surrealist moment, I think, for me was like when I realized, oh, I'm really here and doing this. During rehearsal was when we were, practicing this together. And then at the part where Enna and I share a line, Warenai karamitai ni naru kara. During rehearsal, Enna suggested, oh, why don't we face each other when we sing this line? I was like, that's a great idea. And then I realized I'm sharing a line in a song and performing on stage with Enna. And then you think about how good Enna is. And it's like, so I've just gone from sharing a stage with Ren to then sharing a line in a song with Enna. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? These are like career singers. These are people with like the vocal, and then there's fucking me. I was like, oh my god, I'm actually here doing all of this. What the shit? But it was cute, and it was a nice moment, and it made me feel like I was a part of the stage. It was great. Mixed Nuts was fantastic. So much energy. And I'm glad I had the little, like, at the very end, Iga motarete yuku. Whoa! I kind of just went goofy mode at the end there, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. It brought a little bit of goofy personality to it. I've noticed a lot of comments, you know, because I've watched the VOD back after the performance was over, and I had some time to kill before I came home. I watched the VOD back a lot. I watched it back so many times, just reliving those moments, and I noticed a lot of comments about how energetic I am. And Sunny also mentioned, like, that my movement is just so big. And for me, honestly, I know that you may see me as, you know, this gentleman demon, this old man with this serious, deep voice and this tragic past. But then really think about that for a second, right? Think about what I've been through. Think about how much I've put up with and how beaten down I've been in my life. Not just throughout history, but also recently. You know, past decade or so. Some things have been good, some things have been really bad. But then I think about where I am at that time, when I'm on stage. After everything that I've done and been through, to stand in front of that massive crowd and to be a part of a show with these beautifully talented people who I love desperately, I think the fact is I just couldn't contain my excitement. I'm tearing up. Oh my god. I actually could not contain my excitement. I just was so full of energy. Like I felt like the whole thing about people say about ADHD is that it's like, oh, the stereotype is, oh, you're hyper, you're a kid and you can't sit still in class, you can't concentrate. But most of the time for me it manifests as I'm sat on my ass and I'm just staring into space and I can't do anything. So to feel like I had so much energy that I couldn't sit still, how many times in my life am I going to get to do this? How many times in my life am I going to be, you know, everyone on this planet would be lucky beyond reproach to get to do it once, and I am, I guess, that lucky, you know? So I'm so glad that I just didn't, you know, I don't care about trying to fulfill someone's idea about the way that I should or should not move. I'm like, I'm going to have fun doing this. Tomorrow is Ramadan. Thank you so much for letting me know. Thank you so much for letting me know. For those of you who celebrate Ramadan, I hope you have a good one. But anyway, so that was brilliant. Do not say Inshallah Akuma in my chat. Anyway. So, had a wonderful time with all the excitement and, you know, filling up those moments in the show, like the free movement, you know, while there's no strict choreography for a few lines. I'm, you know, just bringing my energy, big, wide movements, throwing my arms around, having the most wonderful time in the world. And I'm just, yeah, so grateful for that. And so moving on to the second solo of the night, Puppet Cafe. I don't need to introduce Marilyn as a dancer, as a performer, as an idol to anybody. Maria, for everybody, so it's like I mentioned near the end in the little speech that I gave. For me, this is an incredible opportunity and a memory I'll never forget. For a lot of the others, music is a huge part of their lives, and it's a massive part of their journey. But Marilyn is an idol. Marilyn has put so much of her life into dance and performance specifically for that kind of an environment. And I mean, there's a reason why she was in tears before the show even began. Why she was on the pre-show with Prof, and why she started crying before even going on stage. Because this literally is everything, as far as I can tell, that she's ever dreamed of doing. And I'm so glad that she got to do it with her own original song that she designed the choreography for all by herself. And it's brilliant choreography. There's not like a single second, as far as I'm aware, it doesn't feel like it, of free movement. Every single step is choreographed, and she is remembering it and performing it with just absolute astonishing precision at every single moment. The dance for Puppet Cafe is shocking, and then the fan chant and kind of bringing that dainty cutesy energy with these big, and then transforming it into these big arm movements. Tiger, tiger, ta 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 tiger. It's the perfect song to end the free section, an absolutely perfect song to bring the free section to a close and to say, hey, you guys like that? There's more like it to come, although really there is nothing like Marilyn Solo. She just has this gift. There's just something really special about what she's able to do and how much of herself she gives to dance and to performance, you know, to that idol lifestyle. That's all she's ever wanted, and I'm proud of her. Immensely proud of her. Very proud of my flying daughter. Kanal, thank you so much for the Akasupa. Thank you so much. Daisuki. Ms. M.T., thank you so much. Can't wait to see more. Yeah, I can't wait to do more if I got to. Oh my god, I would love to. I'm so glad you enjoyed the show, Jax. Thank you for the super as well. Need some more water. Good to smell my mouth. It's getting a little dry. So yeah, then we have the MC, and then Wheeler comes out with Hello, Endless Sunbeams. Brilliant song. Can't stand how the little giggles in it make me feel. Just crazy. I'm like, oh my god. But lovely dance on this one as well. The arm flapping is so cute. The little like L shape, the while she's kind of rocking back and forth. She's in her element when she does this. And she was all nervous going up, but the moment the music started, I was like, I know you can do this. Elira Pandora woman that you are, you have everything you need. Mount Fuji, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. The first time I saw the shared outfit, I was like, Sorry, what did you say? I was like, huh? I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. This is the same staff that let me come out after my hiatus in the mountains, let me come out with my happy trail on display. So I shouldn't be surprised, but Jesus Christ. What a... Yeah, Mount Fuji had a cameo. 2 of them, in fact. Ayane, thank you so much for the Akasupa. Saiko no raibu! Arigatou gozaimashita! Thank you so much. I'm glad you couldn't stop crying. I hope I make you cry tears of joy again. And Yubo, thank you very much. Sunbeams is beautiful. She was in her element. She knew exactly what she was doing. And she fucking killed it. Like I knew she would. Sakana, thank you for the super. Hell yeah, I am. Remocon! This is... I'd never heard of it before, as I'm sure was a surprise to no one. Although I'm to understand this is a piece of Vocaloid history. It's a... What do they call it? A Vocaboomer song? LRLR... Stop band and... Just beautiful. There's a part of me that wishes Blue Light came right after Remocon, because that would have been the funniest shit ever. Would have been the single funniest shit ever to have Remocon where Ike... The thing you gotta know about Ike doing this choreography, his smile is so wide. This man can smile so big. He is cute in this song, right? He is so cute. And he knows it. He feels it and he loves it. And when they're doing the choreo, he's just got this big smile on, putting all of his energy in. And I remember chatting with him and he was like worried about how much energy it was going to, like, it's a very energetic routine, but he was like, I don't know if I could do it. And I was like, I know you can do it. I know you can do it. And of course he could. Of fucking course he could. We know who this guy is. We know what he's done. We know what he's about. This is Ike Evelyn we're talking about. There's nothing he can't do. Okay? And Rosemi as well. Again, you know, Rosemi was really nervous before getting into it. But Rosemi delivered just, again, you know, this adorable, like, I had to stop myself because I figure it's controversial in some circles, but from the MC section, I had to stop myself from saying Hail Satan, because she really like commanded such a presence in such a different way than anybody else could do, because that's who Rosemi is. She's got the most unique sense of humor and the most insane energy to her, and she brought that with everything. And Remocon was just so cute. I loved watching it backstage. I was doing the little pointing up, the little. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's surreal. I get performing alongside Rosemi is crazy. I mean, you got to understand the, you know, the shock that I felt. The shock that I felt when, you know, we got put on the project together, but also the shock that I felt when I realized that she was in NIJISANJI to begin with. I was like, Sorry. You guys have Satan? You guys have Satan playing Minecraft and Euro Truck Simulator? What the fuck is this? The fact that we're just like co-workers. This is like if you got picked, if you auditioned for a movie and you didn't know who else were going to be your co-stars, and on the day you walk in and the Queen is there. Queen Lizzie is just there and she's like, hello. Yes, I'm back. Like that it's that level of insane, right? Literally not even my boss. Like Rosemi is so many tiers ahead of me in terms of, you know, power in the underworld that she's basically hanging out with a peasant. Right? But I guess, yeah, just humbled by this whole experience. Maria Neto and their viewers just joined. We were just talking about your solo a little bit ago, Maridin. But now that we talked about Remocon, it's time to talk about... Now, good thing you're here. Time to talk about Juanito Shampoo. Sakana, thank you very much for the super. And Masato, thank you very much. Juanito Shampoo. Oh my god. Oh my good fucking gracious. Juanito Shampoo. Juanito Shampoo. What the fuck kind of a name for a song is that? Juanito Shampoo. Brilliant. So, Sunny and Marian and I were informed. One of the song groups is you guys. You guys are going to be a trio. And both Sunny and I didn't even discuss this. We just wordlessly decided Marian should choose, and it should be something cute. Because that would be really funny. It means crocodile and shampoo. Is that really what it means? I never knew. There are 3 words in the title of that, and the only one I recognize is shampoo. Crocodile and shampoo. Crocodiles don't have hair. What do they need shampoo for? Anyway. Marilyn, we had a few choices, but Marilyn suggests this song, and I'm so glad that we wound up going with this one, because it's so fun. This was the song that got me over my nerves the most when it came to dance, because, like, there's a lot of choreo to remember in this song, but all of it is so fun to do. All of it was so brilliant, and I cannot get over that one tweet. We were all talking about it. 2 gay dads and their flying daughter. Hilarious. While we're rehearsing, you're looking forward, right? You're looking forward. So I'm thinking about my own choreo, my own movements. Thinking about my own movements and stuff like that. So when Sunny and I go to each side, right? La 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 la. I never knew Marilyn could jump that high. I was just focused on remembering it for myself. So when we see that screenshot and then I go and I watch the VOD back later, I'm like, maybe she can fly. I was like, what the fuck? Stunning. Again, stunning what Marilyn can do. What Marilyn can do. If you are idle enough, you can fly. If you are idle enough, you can fly. But Wine Into Shampoo was so much fun. Because there were so many little bits and pieces where you can inject your personality into this song. And my favorite part, there were two of my favorite parts that I did that I really, really enjoyed. I love the way that that Sunny and Marilyn put their own personality into it. Like Marilyn with the kakare. That's the part that I remember the most. But then for me, you have the yabai, 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 yabai. The part where it was like yabai, yabai. And then I thought, okay, I wonder how I should do this. Should I try and make it sound like the original song? Or should I do something that's more me? And so when it came down to it and it was like, yabai, yabai! And that was so fun. I'm so glad that I decided to do that. Because every time during rehearsal when I did that and I yoinked that one out, everyone laughed. And I was like, fuck yes, I'm so glad. I was so glad that that paid off and it wasn't like too loud for people in the rehearsal space, because it went down really well. I'm so glad that I decided to do that. Yeah, boy! Just bring it out like I've been told the song is about needing to do your homework, and thank God that needing to do your homework can bring out emotions that are that expressive and explosive and ridiculous. And then there's that, and I owe it to Marilyn for working so hard and doing the lyric split, but giving me the so glad of that as well, because doing like the little pose where I kind of like knock my knees together and fall over like one night, boom, one night, and then we start doing it again. And then it was Sunny's idea to in the final chorus to start jumping from leg to leg. Oh what a night, what a night, and start like jumping like that. Kind of hurt my legs the first time we did it, but you get used to it, and it went down really well. I fucking love this song. I love this song so much, and I listen to it now, and I just think about all the different points from the choreography and how much fun I had doing it. So Wine Into Shampoo is a classic, obviously. But next up was Otonabru, and this has happened to me with a couple songs. I felt like I was kind of unfamiliar with Otonabru because after doing Wine Into Shampoo, it's such an energetic song that I'm so tired after doing it. I just kind of walk off backstage and sit down. I'm like, fuck me, where's my water? And then Otonabru is already going on. I feel like I'm in such a daze I can barely even take it in. But this song's got such great personality. I love the way that the girls introduce themselves. It's like, I'm Rosalie! I'm Anna! I'm Marilyn! Like, so much personality is put into this. And it's like, what is it Anna does at the end? Wow! Fantastic. So even though I barely took any of it in because I could feel my heartbeat in my feet, brilliant. You don't even need me to tell you that. And then, of course, the song of a generation, Blue Sugar. You need to understand how incredible Blue Sugar is as a song. Blue Sugar came out when Renzoto debuted, and everybody loved it. No one could stop singing this song. And also, Blue Sugar came out at a very special time. Blue Sugar came out one day after I hit 1 million subscribers, because I did my 24-hour stream to hit 1 million subscribers. And then, right as that 24 hours ended, Illuna debuts happened, and then at the end, Ren debuted Blue Sugar. So I was 24 hours deep into this stream, stayed up to watch Illuna's debut, and then heard this song right before I went to sleep. And it's such a vibe. It's such a vibe. And to see him come out in his element on stage, you know, just free movement, free flowings, playing to the crowd, everything he knew everything he needed to do. Didn't need to overdo it with the movement. He just did what he knew he needed to do, and it worked so well because Blue Sugar just fucking speaks for itself, man. It's such a fantastic song. Such a brilliant song. Yeah, he really does belong on stage. He just fit on there like a glove. And adding these little extra bits to the song, Till Tomorrow, which I can't hit, which is funny. And also, speaking of which, speaking of that line, the moonwalk. Welcome back, Michael Jackson. Right? Thank you, Gooey Flames, for the super. Thank you, Tomoe Su. Thank you very much. And Andrea, thank you very much. So the moonwalk is such a great thing. It was like a School of Rock moment, right? Where throughout rehearsal, every time Ren had been, just while we were waiting or outside or something, Ren, occasionally he would just hit a moonwalk. We'd be like, shit, sheesh. But he was like still kind of learning it. And then when in rehearsal, when he would get to that part of the song, he tried moonwalking a couple of times and he sort of like stumbled, and then he would be like, ha 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 ha, you know, just sort of be like, I don't know if I can do it, guys. But we all encouraged him. We're like, man, you don't have to, but if you can hit that moonwalk on stage at that time, people are going to lose their fucking minds. And he was like, I don't know. Okay. And I remember in the rehearsal the night before when, you know, we would just do everything, giving it one final check. He tried to do it and he couldn't. Like, he kind of stumbled a little bit. And I thought, man, I really hope he does it. But if he decides not to, it's okay. Like, I get it, right? So, when Blue Sugar starts, he's out there in his element. The line is coming up. Everyone from backstage is watching with bated breath. Is he gonna do it? And then, keep me hollow till tomorrow. Boom, 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 boom. Moonwalk perfectly. Whap, whap. Hee hee. Perfect moonwalk. And then a spin out of it as well. The way we tried to hide our voices backstage, I was like, yes, he did it. It was literally like I say, a School of Rock moment where, you know, someone tries to do something, can't quite do it, but then in the moment, when it's live, when it matters the most, they finally fucking nail it. It was like, yes! The most hype moment, at least backstage, was us being like, he fucking did it, oh my god. Welcome back, Michael Jackson. Welcome back. So, next up, we have what I think, personally, is the greatest walkout in the entire show. Mass Destruction! Because when you're watching and the lights go down, you can see the faint, you know, low light images of whoever it is walking off stage and then walking back, and then whoever is about to perform walking on stage, and you can kind of see, oh, it's them. Oh, it's them. Oh, okay, cheer, woo. After Blue Sugar, Ren walks off. Nobody walks on. What's going on? Having an intermission? What is this? What do you call this? Total silence. Suddenly. Like an explosion, like you're being shot in the chest. Baby, 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 baby! Out of nowhere. The graphics looking pulled straight out of the video game. Baby, 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 baby. And then boom! Like he shot out of a cannon, running on the stage. What's up, Niji fans? I had chills, just chills watching that, like crazy to watch from backstage, but then when I watched the performance back afterwards, I was like, man, this is good. Sonny Briscoe in the front, Lyra Pandora singing from backstage. Listen up. So much swag on this song. His rhythm is unmatched. Lyra, beautiful on this song. Oh yeah, da 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 da, baby baby, da 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 da, and like what is it? They had such a great they were so synchronized, these two. They were so like together with it. They were so good at sort of complimenting each other. Like when she's going da 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 da, suddenly like on like the second or third chorus, Sonny goes da 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 da, and like they just synced up so well, and like the fills and the little bits and pieces here and there was so good. Like this just puts such a big smile on your face. It's got da 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 da, baby baby, boom 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 ba doom da 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 doom da doom da doom doom, destiny into the tomb. I tried so. It's so good. You want to see my rendition of it? I was thinking, like, I really want to try singing some of the songs that I didn't get to do. I really want to try that at some point. You know, now that I've kind of got the bug for singing at this point, like it's the point where it's not as intimidating and I just really enjoy it. I kind of want to try and sing some of these myself, but we'll see. We'll see. So, Mass Destruction. And that's, believe it or not, that's only half the show, right? So much has been going on. Then there's a second half of the set list. Ba-boom! Oh shit. I hit cancel instead of okay. Professional grade streamer right here. And then, you know, we had 4 blue songs in a row. Konni, thank you for the Akasupa. O kaeri nasai. O Akosama. Hako-sama. Hako-sama. Miss you and want to let you know. Feel grateful to be the first kindred to meet you at the meet and greet. Yes! So nice to meet you at the meet and greet. It was lovely to see you. So glad you enjoyed the show. Sora, thank you very, very much. And Jun Upa, thank you for the Akasupa. Singing and dancing were absolutely amazing. Thank you. My king. Thank you so much. Okay. Blue light. You don't need me to introduce blue light. You know blue light. The moment anyone brings up blue light, the moment the word blue is mentioned, everyone goes, sealed within an embrace of chilling contempt. Everybody knows this song. This song has such fucking sauce to it. Sealed within an embrace. Just a real, like, this song sounds like if you... This song sounds like... What is it? This song sounds like if you took... I just figured out my EQ settings. There's something wrong with my microphone. If you took Ike's soul, like if you reached your hand in and pulled it out and then plugged it into Reaper and asked it to make a song, Blue Light would come out. It is the most him shit ever. And knowing how confident he was, just singing it all on stage with like the choreography and like just his level of sauce, you know. I think it's because no matter how nervous he was going onto the stage in the first place, when you hear that music, you know how good he is, right? When you hear that music, you know how good he is. And I'll tell you something. Maybe he won't admit it, but he does too. Ike knows when he can hear that, it reminds him how good he is. And so when he hears that music and he's in his element, doesn't matter how worried he is, how nervous he is, how many people are watching, he knows he can scream like nobody else. So crazy, so brilliant what he was able to do with Blue Light. And we've all heard the song before. We all have loved the song this whole time, and so hearing it come back, it was a perfect choice. It was a perfect choice. And then another blast from the past, Inkia Impulse. That's me trying to do Marion Scream from the beginning. See, you can't, not everybody can do that, you know. Not everybody could do that. My favorite part of this song is when Ike goes something, Moss! Moss! Like sing, Moss! Moss! Oh no, it's that, and then it's when Marin has that, like, evil fucking, like, I was like, that how do you make something sound so cute but so evil at the same time? I was like, that's fucked up. That's fucked up, right? That's so fucked up. But she killed it. It was so brilliant. I love that part. And it was like I said during the post show, I was like, if she really is my flying daughter, I want to have a word with her. I'd be like, hey, young lady, go to your room. Who said you could talk like that? Where are your fucking manners? And I can't tell her to go to her room. Why? Because she just flies away. My flying daughter just flies out the window, and I'm like, fuck. Sonny! Yes? Our flying daughter has flown away again. Oh. Let her live. I'm like, oh, alright. You really think so? Yes, okay. Suzume, thank you for the Akasupa. Happy birthday! Happy birthday! Hope you have a wonderful birthday. I'm glad you liked the performance. Kiryuan, thank you so much. I recommend you a place to go and eat. You gotta check out Sushiro! I love Sushiro. And if you have the time and you can get a reservation, going for omakase is great. Just find a sushi omakase restaurant and try some of that food. You know? Jiayu, thank you so much for the super. I loved it. I love you too. Thank you. Mwah. Thank you. Okay. So, Inky Impulse. And then... Oh boy. Kusorumba. This, I think... Obviously, you know, every single performance in this show was brilliant. But my personal favorite was Kusorumba. And I think every part of it was great. The choreography was hilarious and so fun. And Rosemi had such a hilarious energy. And the jumping and the cute singing was it. But I need to pay respect to my man Sonny Briscoe. His vocals on this song are without equal. I feel like, I know I might be exaggerating a little bit because I spent so much time hanging out with Sonny and I listened to him sing this song with Rosemi so many times. Sonny might be in my top 3 vocalists of all time. Like Michael Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Sonny Briscoe. I'm not even kidding. Like, listening to him knock out the chorus parts in this song, I would sit backstage and I was like angry that he was that good. I was like, how are you doing that? How are you doing that? He is so good. One thing you got to remember, remember his one solo line in Virtual Strike? I want to see the view with you beside me. The way he just, that sounds so good. Like, that's shockingly good. And then when he, like, it's not just how great his vocals sound, it's the amount of personality he puts in. Like, the voice acting through the singing. Doing that with so much confidence and such fun singing. It's just, you see his face. This man's face. Like, he's got this, like, devilish smile. It's a whole performance. It's a multi-layered performance. And his vocals are just fucking, I don't know. I don't know how he does it, but I was just in awe, genuinely, like, just stunned. Every time I listened to those two perform that song from backstage, I was like, man, this is just so peak. He's just a chill guy. He's relaxing. He's hanging out. But then when he gets on stage, so Roomba. Think about how long you have to hold your breath. You need some expert breath control to sing that part while spinning as well. While spinning. So yeah, So Roomba for me personally, that was my favorite. I thought it was stunning. Absolutely stunning. And then you got Doki Doki Morning. This is hilarious. I love this song so much. I had never heard it before. I'm to understand, is it baby metal? Excellent. The little the running in circles that they did, and like the Anna's dancing on the one side where she's like kicking her legs and going like bum 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 bum. So fun to watch. So fun to watch these guys from backstage do this, and then Rosemi screaming, ah! Hilarious. Hilarious, hilarious. Beautifully sung. Really catchy choreography. I couldn't stop doing it. Ring, ring, ring. Ohayo, wake up. Da, 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 chamate, chamate. Just doing like the little like banana phone motion. This one just really, really sets up the vibe so well. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. It was so fun. But then, really out of left field, 5 of us in Delicious. Incredible song. Love this song. This was Enna's suggestion, and it was her idea for us to have the sunglasses as well. This song is fucking hilarious. So you may have seen during the running, like when we were changing positions, I would do this like high leg sort of like clap above my head, like, it won't be long, I'm stealing your heart. I would do this thing. And it's because the music video for this song was kind of a parody of like a jazzercise instructional video, like aerobics, where you've got everybody in these tight leotards, and it's like, come on, everybody, get your body moving now, yeah. So it's gonna be 1, 2, and then you bring it down low, yeah, like that. And so I remembered one of those from like, you know, the video where it's like those kids doing like the jazz aerobics thing, where it's like, my name's Katrina and my name is Hugh. I'm Abby and I'm something. That was like, I remembered them doing that movement, and so I just couldn't stop myself every time I was moving around. But yeah, the vocals on this one were great. So much fun to do. This is just an easygoing, fun song. And so grateful as well that half of it is in fucking English. I was like, yes! I don't have to learn a brand new language for this song. Yes! Thank fuck! It was definitely nice to just, instead of remembering a load of different syllables, you know, Japanese typically far more syllables per phrase than you have in English. Obviously not all the time, but it's definitely quite heavy on syllables. So, you know, no tongue twisters for me. It was just, it won't be long, I'm stealing your heart, it can't go wrong, driven away, I said, oh. Stunning. I really like this song. And the choreo was so great too, like the fan out in the beginning, delicious, Ren's fuckboy laugh, ha, come on, so good. Pardon me. So that was really fun. And as well, the little, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it, because I did it once during rehearsal and everyone laughed, and I was like, but is it a little too much? The one part where I go, and I like kind of wave my arms like that, and I'm like kind of like limboing backwards, you know? I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that. Like, I did a couple different movements that I was practicing, and then in the end I was like, no. This is funny, and this song is funny, so you should do the funny one. And I was like, fuck it, alright. And I'm so glad every frame of me doing that is hilarious. Like, the screenshots are so good. I want to make an edit of that where I look like Jeb, you know, where it's like the more billion dollars thing, where it's like Morbius has sold a more billion tickets. I'm raising my arms like that. I want to do where it's like the Overture daytime stage was the first concert to sell to sell an over trillion tickets. You know, it's like me just with my arms up and the sunglasses. So funny, so funny. Thank you, Akuma Jiayu for the super. Thank you, Cindy for the rainbow. Thank you so much, Gensel, on your incredible performance at Overture. Lucky to be in the crowd cheering you on. I'm so glad you got to enjoy it. So yeah, Delicious was great and was the perfect lead up into what came next. Cindy, happy birthday! Happy birthday. I'm going to try to stay happy for you, okay? Really glad you enjoyed Monstrosity, and hell yeah, thank you so much. So, then next up was King. Like I mentioned earlier, King was Mane-san's suggestion, and I practiced hard, very hard for this song. And the choreography evolved a lot in the lead up to it. So, the funny thing that I've mentioned a few times is that when you don't speak Japanese, these songs kind of take on a new meaning to you. And for me, not 100% knowing what it was actually about, it just kind of took on a new meaning. And I really wanted to do something that was bombastic and high energy, where I could showcase how much I like to move around. And I enjoy the song. The artwork for the song depicts the singer sat on a throne bearing their fangs, right? And yet the lyric is, "You are king." And that's quite, to me, that's quite thought-provoking. So what I enjoy about that is that it'll, at least for me, you know, when I think about myself, you know, it's really interesting to kind of think about my position in this world and in this industry and all of that, and how people have called me king a few times, and it feels great, obviously, but there's so much that I owe to everyone around me, and I think that there's a lot that I wanted to kind of showcase in the performance. My main interest was in making it bombastic, high energy, and fun, but the imagery of, you know, I think of an air of, I guess, disrespect, in a sense, was really key to this version of the performance. You know, standing on the chair. Again, I just wanted to do that because it was high energy, but what I like about that is the way that it's almost like a mockery of my own institution. You know, no matter how high I might climb, I'm always capable of destroying myself. And no matter how high I climb, I'll always owe everything to you. And so I think, in a sense, the pyrotechnics and me kind of miming throwing the grenade and shooting the gun into the crowd, you know, in the final chorus, it's all about sort of representing how fragile these titles are. You know, I can call myself king all I want. You can call me king as much as you want. But I think that when we really come down to it, these things are fleeting. And so what I wanted to represent was using that throne as much as I possibly can to do things that no one has ever seen coming, you know, to do things that you wouldn't have expected. And if that comes at the cost of that throne itself, then so be it. I've, you know, been ambitious to the point where I've, like, you know, had immense setbacks before, but would I change that? No, I wouldn't. And that was really special to me. That's what I meant by the choreography. Singing this song was hard. Doing the grunts and the growls, it's rough on your voice. You need to really practice how to do it without roughing up your throat, because otherwise you can get a very, very tired voice. But I'm so glad that in the final day I managed to do it. In particular, I really liked the final chorus and how I felt like I really just I loved the energy, and I think maybe it was right after the "I can hear you, come on." I love that part, and it's interesting the legwork I'm doing there, like the kind of the kick out while I'm just kind of dancing around the chair. I showed Satoshi Sensei, I was like, have you ever seen Sonic 3? I was like, look at this, look at the way Eggman is dancing here. Can you teach me how to do that? And he was like, sure. And so that was what I was doing. Purely, not even though I wasn't even trying to be silly. I just like those moves. And my finger is on the button. Push the button. Thank you, Leosha, for the super. A lot of us cried. A lot of us cried. Lika, thank you for the Akasupa. En Psycho! Arigato. Never forget the sea of red pen lights. Yeah, it was so cool. And Mamiro, thank you for the super. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Venus, thank you for the Akasupa. Thank you. Thank you. G-League, thank you. And Voxagra, thank you very much. I'm glad you... That's high praise, because there are a lot of versions of King out there. Ka, thank you. So proud of you. Your growth is one of the most beautiful, inspiring things. Thank you, Ka, for the Akasupa. That's really, really kind. I love you too. I love you too. I thought of doing a proper cover for King. I would like to, yeah. Especially considering most music videos for King are just a still image with like some distortion effects. I'm like, yeah, I could throw that together probably. I think it'd be fun. We come left side, right side. Such a fun song. I love the ferocious energy. It's so good. So cool. So cool. And I think the part that I like, the part that I was excited to do at first was the beginning of the song, because like you can really go low with that lower octave version of the song. Yo, hey, stop! I love bringing it down low, but then as I learned about it, and even though I was intimidated by how high the chorus goes, getting it down and really getting it right, oh man, so fun. Such a fun song to do. And I mentioned in the MC section before, I was like, you know, VTubing has a lot of interesting traditions, and I want to partake in one of its oldest, and that was the idea. You know, I just wanted to enjoy taking part in something that is a staple of, you know, of VTuber culture. So much so, and I'm such an outsider, but this is quite funny. So much so was I so new to it, and so much so has King become a fundamental part of VTuber culture and history. For the longest time, this is not a joke, for the longest time, I did not know that it was Vocaloid. I didn't know it was Canaria. I didn't know it was Gumi. I thought it was Canaria, but I thought this whole time that King was Kuzuha's original song. Not this whole time. Up until about a year ago, I thought it was Kuzuha's original song. I genuinely thought that. Right? Because I just don't know shit. I'm a fucking idiot. It's just a culture that's so outside of me, and I'd only ever heard his version. I was like, man, this sounds really good. Right? And then I heard the original, I was like, oh my god. Wait a minute. I was just so, you know. And that's what's brilliant about this to me. Is that I'm such an outsider, and yet to be welcomed in by such a robust institution with so many traditions and so many, so much history, right? To be welcomed like that, to the point where the fact that Prof said, you know, that yours is like the best one, I was like, phew, I almost felt scared to be told that by anybody. I was like, that's like such insanely high praise. Like, do you know how good all those other versions are? There are like hundreds of them, and they're all really good. Yeah, Canaria is a Lambro too. Yeah. Yeah, it's just brilliant. I'm just so grateful. I got to do it. And in such a fascinating way too. I just really enjoyed singing it in the way that I sang it, and then doing the dance in the way that I danced it, crossing up my legs, boom, 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 boom. Mutakini yasabu kitai no daring daring nageri wara u hitai no kiyaru. Munzambani shineru. So good. It's so good. Thank you, Lily, for the Akasupa. Hearing the crowd chanting your name. Oh boy. Yes. Thank you. It was something. It was something. Love you too, Lily. Thank you for the Akasupa. I'll talk about that real quick. So, the Akuma chant was an idea I had 5 minutes before the MC section where we went up. Like, right before we went on for Delicious, I was like, I wonder. Just kind of dawned on me right then, you know? Beforehand, my plan was to say my little piece about wanting to partake in such a fascinating tradition, and then to say, the end of the show draws close, turn towards the crowd, point, are you ready? Like in a kind of a smooth voice. But then I thought about the call and response. I was like, I may only ever have one chance to do this. Akuma, 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 and hearing everybody go back, and then instead of, are you ready, going, are you ready? If I fucked up my performance after that, I feel like there's no way. There's no way I could have fucked up my performance after that, because I was riding such a high of dopamine. I was like, I've never felt like this is insane. This is insane that this is happening to me at this stage of my life. Absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. So glad that it worked. Akuma, Akuma, Akuma. The fact that I, you know, and then at the start of it, someone was like, Jimmy, and I was like, Jimmy! And then it still worked out great. So great. Torushka, thank you for the Akasupa. I'm glad you thought I did well. The couple of ha-has in King had me swooning. Really? That's interesting. I didn't think about the ha-has all that much. Ha-ha! You are king! You are king! getting those last few lines in the chorus down was so fun. Like when I was practicing and I was like, "You are king!" It was, oh man, so great. Say, thank you for the Akasupa. Still feels like a dream. Thank you. Shone so brightly on stage. That's powerful energy. Incredible vocals. Thank you for your hard work. Our king! I love you too. Thank you so much. Maro, thank you so much. You are king. Thank you very much. Jenny Alex, thank you for the Akasupa. You really did that. Yeah, I did. I guess I really did do that. So incredibly proud of you. Thank you. Senya, thank you. So happy and proud of you watching you sing and dance. Were those horns real or clip-ons? They were a part of the costume. Because remember what I said at the beginning? These usually mean there's blood on my hands, but all I've got is you on my mind. I didn't have time to kill anybody. And also, it would have been quite against who I am and my, you know, my morals to, you know, try and, you know, get a few human souls in me before the performance just to add to my costume, you know? Like, that wouldn't have been me. But also trying to get them in the, you know, the red jagged pattern that they happen to come out in, you know, at the back when that whole disaster happened around when the Demon Hungers was released. You know, it'd be difficult. So I wanted to be those horns specifically to call back to that time and to remind you all that that side of me is very much still there. That side of me is very much still there, you know. Lumos, thank you very much. Lumos, thank you for the super. I'm so glad. Gloves, thank you very much. Solo concert when? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. You never know. Camelius, thank you. Miss you so much. I miss you too. Lou, thank you. So hyped by the chant. Hee. That makes me so happy. Sunny, thank you very, very much. And Sabina Kali, thank you very much. Endlessly proud of me. I'm proud of you too. So, like with Otona Blue, so King obviously comes right after Delicious. So when King is over, I am fucking pooped out. I'm like, Jesus, I need a nap after I did Delicious and King back to back. Even though I have a decent, after Juanito Shampoo and before Delicious, I have a decent break. So Acute is a song, again, that I feel like that just kind of like goes by in a blur. I feel like I don't really know it all that well because every time that it's come up, it's been right after King where I'm like, oh, what fucking year is it? But one thing I really want to say about Acute that's so great, I really like the choreo. The choreo is really complex. You know, I'd get mixed up doing choreo like that. Illyra's low voice is very good in this song. Illyra's low voice is really, really impressive. I didn't know she could go that low, but man, really good. Really, 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 really good. Same as how I felt when we watched the Rose Peto party and there was the song with Peter Gurin. And I was like, Petra can sing that. What the fuck? Since when? These people are amazing. These people are amazing to me. These people are so stunning. Like, there are so many little tricks they've got that you don't know. You're impressed anyway. And then they pull something out and it's like, huh? It's like, you could do that too this whole time? What the fuck? I use the stage outfits in Home 3D. Are you able to use it for future karaoke? Yes, I asked. I wasn't sure. I asked staff about that this morning, and they said yes. So I'm looking forward to that. I would like to, definitely. Poppy, thank you so much. Watching you on stage and having so much fun makes me happy too. Glad it does. Gooey Flames. So I'm still hungry. I'm not starving. Okay, remember, I can maintain mostly the same look as long as things are very nice and easily done without much of a panic. So, you know, a lot of the time I could be killing and you may not know. I mean, how do you think I kept that hidden for almost 2 full years? Yuri Pendragon, thank you very much. Love you too, thank you. Misa. Rainbow Super from Misa, thank you so much. I love you too. Fern, thank you very much. You are king. Thank you for choosing that song. I'm glad I did. Hano Gildon. You should be proud, boss man. I am. I'm mega proud. Proud of myself. Proud of all my friends. So happy. So happy. Misa, thank you. 1 billion times cooler than I imagined. How many more times will I fall in love with you? I'll make it at least 500 times. 500 times to fall in love, so you never forget what it feels like. So yeah, acute, and then dance, roboto dance, da 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 dance, roboto dance. I love Rosami's solo so much. I was doing the choreo backstage as well. Dance, roboto, not all of it, but little bits of it. Dance, roboto dance. She's so good in this. This, like, when you're listening to it and she's hitting those high notes, I'm like, this sounds like it shouldn't be possible. This sounds like it shouldn't be possible. It's so her. This whole solo is so her. The glasses, the flapping arms and the jumping and the bam 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 bam. It's cute, but it's funny and it's goofy and it's like different. Also, I swear to you, if you watch the VOD, when Rosami walks out, you can hear Rosami from the crowd. I bet you 100 pounds, 100 GBP, that's Harada. I bet you, it sounds exactly like him. He's gassed as fuck when Rosami comes out, knows it's her solo. Rosami! I'm certain that that's Harada in the audience. It has to be him. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. But she killed it, and the choreography is so exhausting. Like when she does the little like peek out from behind her hands, like so much to remember, so much little stuff, you know. I loved watching this, and she was so nervous. She was so nervous going on stage. But while the boys and I were getting ready to go up for sign, I was tapping my foot along, and then right as she was walking, I was like, let's fucking go. I had my arms up, I was like, let's go, Rosami. I was so proud of her. So proud of her for, you know, I'm proud of everybody, but proud of Rosami because I knew she was nervous. I knew she was worried about getting up there, and she's so like, she's nervous about a lot of different things, and just knowing that she brought it, I knew she could do it, but knowing that she did, and you know, wasn't worried and had all of that energy, I was so happy for her. So happy for her. And then I love the ending of the song. It bows down, bam. And then, like, with the little pose with the arms. It's just so cute. I love that song. But then, Naruto, which I also haven't seen. Naruto, Sign by Flow. I realize the screaming pain, hearing loud in my brain. But I'm going straight ahead with the scar. This song is... I want to take a moment to say, I love this song. I am happy that we did this song. I loved learning it. I loved dancing it. I loved performing it. But allow me to say, without any negative connotations towards the creators of the song, because it is a brilliant song, fuck Sign, okay? This, I told you guys earlier, learning this song, hitting those notes, I have never wanted to crash out harder in my life. Subete wa kono toki no tame ne. Couldn't do that for so long. It was like tame ne. I was really, really fucking struggling with that. I was like, why can't I do it? I was like, should I just do an octave down? Maybe. Subete wa kono toki no tame ni. I could have done that, but that's not the vibe. You saw me on stage, bouncing back and forth, raise the mic, tame ni. You saw me doing that. I needed to bring the energy, and I fucking pounded that shit into my vocal cords as hard as I could. I didn't repeat any line in this whole thing during practice as much as that one pre-chorus line that I do in Sign. That line, ano nakigoe wa, tongue twister, absolute tongue twister. The amount of times that I said, like hundreds, I mean it, hundreds of attempts at even singing it right once when I was at home. It's kagita, ano nakigoe wa. I would say that wrong 99% of the time while I was practicing, and I couldn't stand it. I was so angry at myself, at the lyrics, at everyone in my life that had led to me doing that at that time, at the urge to give up and go and play Marvel Rivals, which I often did. You know, when my voice would just get way too tired, and I was like, fuck it! I'm Wolverine. Every single adamantium blade that I pumped into a tank's body was filled with pure rage at me not being able to sing this song. But then you go out and you're with the boys, and suddenly the singing Jesus is like, all right, buddy, now you can do it. And I'm like, whoa, thanks. And it was great. Everybody did so well on this song. The choreo was so fun to learn, and this was, like I said, this was the one that we did. So this is the one that, like, we learned fastest, the one that we were the most confident in fastest. And so whenever we did this, it boosted us up, and we were just ready. We were ready for what was coming next, you know, what we were going to learn next. Like Sign, it was our warm-up, it was our cool-down. Every time one of the boys would say, do you guys want to do Sign again? Just want to practice Sign? We'd be like, let's do it. You know, let's do it. Every time. It got to the point where this was like just such a fun thing to do. I would get together. This is an exaggeration, but if the boys were ever together, it's like, do you guys want to do Sign for no reason? I'd be like, shit, why not? If we're ever at karaoke, the four of us, and then someone puts this song on, I wouldn't be surprised if we all got up and did the entire routine. It was so fun, especially the the whole wave the arm. Can you hear me? Wave the arms. Jump, point up to the sky, boom, 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 and then everybody runs around, fists up in the sky, and then you know, we get in a line, and I have to do that impossible lyric that I couldn't do, but now I can. It's kakita, anana kingo wa. Do that whole thing. Do the whole thing, and then the final chorus. Sutae ni kita yo. And then I did this air guitar bit. I don't know if you saw. I was like fully going like School of Rock power stance, where I was just spinning my arm as fast as possible. Spinning it so fast I could feel the blood like pooling in my hand. It was so fun though. Miso, thank you for the rainbow. See a lot of happiness since I met you. This day was a gathering of all the happiness. Thank you. I hope I can keep making you happy every single day. I know that you had difficulty singing the song. Seeing you hit that high note. So many chills. Yeah, I'm so glad I fucking did it. I'm so glad. Oh god, the nerves. The nerves of like, what if on the day I like voice crack? One thing I kept saying to the others when I was doing at the beginning, Niji Fest, are you having a good time? When I did that at the beginning, there was a part of me was like, what if I have a voice crack in that moment? What if in like, you know, big moment trying to hype up the crowd? What if I'm like, Niji Fest 2025, are you having? Can you imagine? I think I might have needed to jump off a bridge after that. I think just to repay my ancestors' aura deficit. After that, you know, just to pay back the debt to society I would owe if that happened. But it did not. It did not. Everything was fine. I was fine. Chatting, thank you so much for the Akasupa. Gave us an unforgettable experience. Thank you. Glad I did. So Sign comes and goes. The boys are boying. All the boys are boying. Boying. Da, 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 da. All the boys are boying, boying. All the boys are boying, boying. Da 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 la da 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 da. And then Stereo Future. Stereo Future is a fucking fantastic song. I had not heard it before. And low-key, if there's one song that I wish I was in, that I was not, Stereo Future, I would have loved to be a part of this group. This is such a great song, with such creative choreography and staging as well, like the standing positions with the hands into the middle, you know, like when they're walking around like that. I love how uplifting this song is. I love how dramatic this song is. And if there was one part during the show that I came close to crying, it was during this, because I was backstage watching them go off, listening to this incredibly uplifting song, and that's the last one before the encore. When I was watching them do it, I was like, it hit me. We did it. We did it. No matter how much anxiety people had, no matter how many things could have gone wrong, as is the nature of anything live, we did it. And they were doing it, the final one. And they were fucking killing it, as I knew they would. So after Stereo Future, encore, encore, encore. We really made everybody wait. Of course, we had to make everybody wait. Keep them going, make them really beg for it. And then we come out, all of us kind of summarize, give our ending thoughts. And this is the part where everybody cried. And I was really... there was a part of me that, whenever I thought about that experience, whenever I thought about doing the show, I kept expecting myself to cry. I kept thinking I would get to the end of it and I would cry because of how much stress I'd been under to try and learn this music. I thought, there's no way I'm going to get to the end of it and everything goes off well and I don't cry. I was like, there's no way. But then the fact is, near the end, in the last couple of weeks, we knew everything so well. I was like, I know this is going to go well. Before we went on stage, man, before the whole show began, a lot of us were nervous. I wasn't. Remarkably, I didn't feel nervous at all. Right before we went on, I was like, we've got this. I was excited. I was like, I can't wait to get out there. I cannot wait to get out there. And I felt that way all the way through up until the very end when everyone was weeping. And I'm so glad they did, because I am so proud of all of them. And I know how important a show like this is to them, and to know that some of these guys who have made music a part of their lives for decades stood on that stage in front of thousands and they brought it and killed it in the way that they did. I struggle to summon the words for how proud I am. It's like I said, and it really is important to drive that home. I love to sing. I love music. I've always loved music. And to now have been put in a position where I needed to improve, and to have forced myself through this gauntlet, this absolute painful gauntlet of learning these songs, but to have done so and permanently leveled up as a singer, I am very happy, incredibly happy. And I can't wait to do more with music in the future, because it's something I never thought I would get to do. I have a whole new skill I get to have fun with now. How beautiful is that? But I already had so much to be happy about. I have you. I have the films that I've made, and more film-like stuff that I would love to make in the future. I have, voiceover that I've been doing for a long time. I'm a skilled swordsman. There's so much in life that I feel like I can do. I already had stuff, But, so while I was happy, incredibly happy and grateful, for the others, this might well have been one of the most important moments of their entire lives. And when I saw them, no matter who they were and no matter what baggage or fear they were bringing into the performance, to know that they gave it everything, and that this was one of the most important moments that any of them could have imagined, I just couldn't believe how proud I was. And then Arc Goes On is such a special song to get to do after all of that. And I'll tell you why. Think about that name. Arc, think about it like a story arc. Sometimes you might be worried about the future. Sometimes you might be worried about how things are going to be. Sometimes things don't go the way that you thought that they would go. And I think a lot of us on stage wondered, how are things going to go on the big night? And we didn't know. For a long time, there were parts that maybe didn't go so well. For me, cursing myself, screaming into my microphone, trying so hard feeling the air in my booth start to get dry, and feeling my throat burn, and feeling the heat of this stuffy little room start to build up, and cursing myself because I knew I needed to get it done sooner, and I knew I needed to practice more, but I just couldn't. Or for the others, when maybe there were parts of the choreography during rehearsal that they weren't quite landing, and maybe there was stuff that they needed to learn, and maybe they made a mistake during one of the rehearsals and it stayed on their mind, and they wondered, God, am I going to remember to do it? So much uncertainty, so much fear, and yet everything worked. Everything went off without a single hitch. There were no problems. Everyone brought their A game. Everyone did it. And it proved, I think, to the world that you can never count us out. You see that crowd. You see the support. You see the people who, the fact that that theater was sold out, not an empty seat in the entire house. We knew then, while we were singing that song, while there were tears in our eyes, that regardless of how worried we might have been, we did it. There is we haven't just done this, but there is more to enjoy in the future. Truly, the arc goes on. Our story arc is far, far, far from over, and there is so much more for us to do. Music is a paid actor, as always. Just had a great time. Just had the most wonderful time. The most magical experience. And I'm going to tell you something now that I've not told very many people. I didn't cry on stage. I was happy. I was jazzed. And I went home, back to the hotel that night with a smile on my face. But then I woke up in the middle of the night. It's about 4 a.m. I was in a daze. I couldn't think about what I tried to remember, and I remembered, oh yeah, we did it today. And everyone's going home. And I lay there in bed, and I cried like a little bitch. It's been so many years since I have cried that pathetically. Not that I feel like I am pathetic for crying in that way, but I was curled up in bed, holding my head in my hands, squeezing my eyes shut, absolutely bawling my eyes out, because not only was I proud, not only was I happy that everything had gone off without a hitch, not mainly, I knew that I was going to miss everything that we did. I realized how much I was going to miss it, and I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand how close I felt with the people I shared that stage with. I couldn't stand how I had literally watched them grow. Oh God. I couldn't stand thinking about the fact that we spent a whole month and there were people who I watched struggle and work and work and work and overcome, and how I would watch those same people with those same moments that they were worried about and go on that stage and deliver something absolutely astonishing. I wanted, in that moment, if someone offered me a pen and paper and said, if you sign this, you will get to do this again and again and again. You guys are going to go on tour and do it, or I would have signed it without a second thought. Because I love those guys so much. I'm so proud of them. And I think about my life. I think about how I've struggled to be close to people for so long. And how I worried for so long that it was dangerous for me to be close to people. And maybe sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I'm better off alone. But for me, the greatest part of this whole long Sometimes stressful, sometimes scary, but all times incredible experience. This was something I did with people that I love. And I'll never forget it. As long as I live, this is something that I'm going to tell my kids about, something I'll tell my grandkids about. And man, it's insane to feel this lucky, because because I know this is so rare, and it just makes me wish everyone on earth got to feel what this feels like. And how I, for a long time, thought I was one of the only people who would never get to experience, a connection with others in the way that I know it now. And now I feel like I have it. I just want to share that with everybody, and I want more people to know what it feels like. More than just friendship. It's like it's a bond I can barely even describe. It's a really beautiful thing. And if I was to say anything to you, just please, I want you to live for the moments in your life, right? If there's an experience where, I don't know. Do you ever get it where you look, if you go like Spotify or Apple Music or whatever it is, you can scroll back through your liked songs and you can see a certain era, and you can kind of see a certain era in your life described by the music you were looping at the time. You can go back and see a certain song and be like, oh, I remember when I was listening to that song, and it'll put a certain place and time in your mind and you'll remember it. What that has made me realize is that I feel nostalgic for like every moment that I've lived in a strange way, even times where I felt miserable. I would look back at the music I was listening to at the time, and I would almost want to go back and experience that again. No matter how difficult things were, every moment had its place, and every moment is a part of me. Every moment helped me grow. Every moment taught me something. And so when I listen to a song that maybe I listened to at the time and cried, now I can listen to that and smile and remember who I used to be. And maybe I miss that in a strange way. Even a time when I was miserable, maybe I miss it. And so I can't imagine, with as much music as we listened to and as we performed, I dread the day that I be listening to some music and I hear Sign or Juanito Shampoo or King or Delicious, Virtual Strike or Art Goes On, Monstrosity, or any of the songs done by the others. And I remember what it felt like to be on that stage, singing those songs, dancing to those songs, or learning them. The times when we would forget something and laugh about it. It's a really painful thing to think about not getting to do that anymore. And I know I'll always be a busy bee, and I'll always be happy about stuff, but I can't help but escape the feeling that BGM is a paid actor. Yeah, I know, right? I'm good at this, aren't I? This is for me too. This is to help me, feel it a little bit. But I just, like I said, I just can't help but imagine. I miss them already, and I know I'm only gonna miss them more as time goes on. Anyway, it was a fantastic experience, and I'll never stop thinking about how much I owe them and how proud I am of them. And there was this electricity. Because after everybody cried on stage, and after Arc Goes On, when we waved, and when the last announcements were made, and then we walked off, you should have seen the hugs, more tears. Everyone was going around making sure they hugged everybody. We pulled managers and Satoshi Sensei was there, and we pulled everybody into like this big group hug. That's an experience. I God forbid, it's such a rare thing. I might never experience that ever again. But you can't, these things don't last forever. And so I'm glad I had that experience, and I'll miss those guys. And I just hope that the time comes that we'll get to hang out and maybe work on something like that again. Staff, if you're listening, if there are other stuff like this is happening, please consider. I hope everybody gets a chance to do this. But if you're thinking about putting me in, please, coach, I'm ready to go again. I'm ready to go again. I thought, fuck me. I'm ready to go again. After all that time, it was very special. But yeah, that was Overture. One of the most incredible experiences of my life. I will never forget it as long as I live. Oof. Thank you, Pei-chan, for the rainbow. Thank you so much. Super Idol. Super Idol de Shamo. Watching you grow and shine on stage is truly amazing. Handsome and adorable at the same time. That's what I do. That's what I be. With an M, with an I, with a K, with an E. Thank you for the Akashupa, for the rainbow. I'm really, really glad. I'm really happy. Snotaku, thank you. I love you too. Love you too. Thank you. Wen, thank you so much. Be a part of the wave. Glad you were there. Nikoko, thank you. And Rachel, thank you so much. Otsuvature. Domini de Chen. Everybody knows that. Yui, thank you for the super. It was from Breaking Bad. I did realize it later. No. You didn't scare me. Don't worry. It was really, really nice to see you at Meet and Greet. I hope you've been having a lovely time, and I hope you've been feeling good. Nico-chan, thank you for the Akasupa. Unforgettable day. I hope to see you on stage again one day. I'll always support you. Daisuki Dayu. Thank you, Nico-chan. That's really, really kind of you. Glad you enjoyed the show. And it was nice to see you at the meet and greets as well. Mireille, thank you so much for the super. Really enjoy and so proud of you. Thank you, Mireille, for the super. Salmon Pie, thank you. Thank you too, Lily. Sing Sign for a future JP karaoke. Yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to do that and to kind of... I'd like to sing the songs again, but maybe the group ones, and I can see how I would handle all the lyrics that I didn't sing. You know, do Sign, but then sing the parts that I didn't, and see, you know. I mean, I already struggled to hit the one line I did have to do. So, you know, it might be tricky, but I'd like to try. Tokito, thank you for the Akasupa. Tissue paper is free. Thank you. Thank you. I need it. Having a little cry. Kaya, thank you. Oh, which you're bored. I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. It's really, really sweet. I love all of your guys' messages. They're very, very kind. Do you Prince excited for the new wave? I am. We have not met them yet. Don't know really much of anything about them. You know, just about the same as you guys, really. But I'm looking forward to seeing them. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. Everybody pray with me, all right? Let's cross our fingers, put our heads down and our thumbs up, and pray. Let's have someone else who's British. Please, give me another Brit. I need someone to relate to. Please, for the love of Christ, give us another Niji Brit right now. Kylie, thank you for the super... Well, Super Idol is a meme. I've heard that song a bunch of times. You know, the music video where he throws the water into the thing. Super idol di siamo. Domeni de tian. I don't know, actually know the lyrics. I'm just kind of sounding it out based on what I've heard. Yana, thank you so much. I want to say it again. Proud of you. Wish you good luck. Thank you. I certainly feel very lucky. You guys wishing me good luck. It seems to be working. Chewing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Glad you're proud of me. May Grace, thank you. I love you too. Foxy Burry, thank you so much. I'm so goofy. I'm happy. Smee, thank you for the super. Oh, you're British? Crazy. Man, that's mental. I love you too. Thank you very much. I know you'll always be there, and so will I. He told me thank you for the Akasupa. How many letters in Vox Akuma? 8! I was lucky enough to sit in the first row. You were in the first row, damn. Monstrosity. Do 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 do. Take a look at me. Monstrosity. Take a look at me. Monstrosity. I pay a price, a sacrifice. I'm not what you thought. We're so proud of you. Thank you. Yukimi, thank you. I'm a psycho no aidoru. Daisuki dayo. Aidoru? Aidoru desu? Me? Aidoru? Never did I think the day would come that I'd be a demon idol. But here we are. Here we are. Always be my own version of things. Shao, thank you so much for the super. Aishiteru, daisuki dayo. Thank you so much. Alice28, thank you so much. Still asleep is catching up with me. Yuka, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lollipop, thank you. Oh, the new perfume. Yeah. There's some nice perfume to look forward to. Kidiva. Overture, yeah. It's like the next season. There's a very triumphant sort of battle. We really fucking won. Overture was a victory. It was such a win. And made us feel so supported to know that so much of the, so much of the fans who are a part, who maybe, I'm sure there were like so many EN fans at the show, but to know that like the fans of JP are also, like, they love us so much and they want to support us so much, it just feels like this big lovely cushion, that kind of wraps you up and lets you know that, hey, you're gonna be all right. It's really nice. Flying Space Whale, thank you for the super. Writing for games since you were away. Hell yeah, that's exciting. Efita, thank you very much. I love you. Tender Dream, thank you for the Aka Super. Thank you for showing me that you could be both a powerful demon and an adorable idol. I love listening to you sing. I mean, what a wonderful life. What a wonderful life that I get to live, where I've been through so much and I've done so much, but there's always time. It reminds me of a film that I've talked about before that I really connected with. It's called I Saw the TV Glow. Beautiful movie. Very, very beautiful. Harrowing, but beautiful. And the film itself is an allegory for the trans experience, which obviously it tells that story very, very well. But when I was watching it, it definitely felt like it brought out those emotions I feel like are very timeless and very human. And I think even if you aren't transgender, I feel like you can, a lot of people can relate to the feeling of, as it is in that film, feeling like there's something you need to do and worrying that you missed the boat. It's a beautiful, beautiful film. I'd highly encourage checking it out. Whether you're trans or not, it's fantastic. But there's one part of the film that sticks in my mind like glue, and I can't stop thinking about it. It's just this one part of a long sequence where there is chalk in the middle of the road, and all it says is, "There is still time." It's a beautiful, beautiful message, especially in the context of that lived experience. But I think that applies on just a fundamental, basic human level. no matter what is going on in your life, no matter what you have done, no matter what you plan on doing, there is still time. No matter what. The film is called I Saw the TV Glow. There is still time. There was a time where I thought that I had just reached the end of what I was capable of doing in my life. If you want to really know the truth, I felt that way when I lay out in the snow after what you know as the events of the Demon Hungers. But for me, that was just a day of my life. I lay in the snow and I looked up and I felt God looking back, and I worried so much that all I was capable of was hurting people. But whether purely through my fear of what would happen when I finally did die, or through a desire maybe to know that things could get better somehow, some way, I've wound up here. And how bonkers is that? How bonkers is it that my life led me here? And now I can perform on a stage and have a fantastic experience bonding with other people on that stage. And I can feel like an idol. There is always time. There is still time. Whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you worry that you haven't done yet, listen to me. There is still time. There is still time. You should push and you should work hard and you should believe in yourself and do the things that you want to do as well as you can do them. Don't assume that that means that you can just stop. You know, you gotta work for these things, but never assume that you are too late. There is still time. I promise you, there is still time. If there's time for me, there'll be time for you. Okay? Rie, thank you so much for the Aka Super. Saiko no raibu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Love you. I love you too. Thank you. Thank you, Yukimi, for the gifted. Thank you, Avis, for the super. And thank you. Thank you too. Ame, thank you for the gifted. Ayachi, thank you. Raibu. Can't read the kanji, unfortunately. Kando shitashi. Kando shitashi. Yuki wo moraimashita. Yuki moraimashita. Ien daisuki. Boksu-san daisuki desu. The live performance was really moving, gave me courage. I love Ian. I love you too. Thank you. Karen 1, thank you for the gifted. Ethereal Waters, thank you for the gifted. And Yuki Kaze, thank you for the super. So yeah, now that that's done, I think, for the time being, as far as I can tell, there are no, apart from, you know, stuff that's brewing in the background but doesn't require a lot of immediate high-intensity work, I don't think that I have anything else to do but stream. Wow. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a really long time. Even when I finished with my 3D debut, there was something else that I needed to worry about that was just going to become a thing sooner than I wanted it to. Wow. How happy am I? So let's get back to it, shall we? So, I owe you guys 2 things. Number 1 is the Christmas karaoke. I tried to do it while I was away. Tried to find a space to do the stream. Unfortunately, on the day that I wanted to do it, my legs were absolutely dead, and I would have needed to travel and, you know, get a bunch of stuff set up, and I felt it, and I was like, I kind of made an agreement with myself. I was like, overture is so important, I need to give it 100%. I don't think I can afford to divide myself among a load of different stuff. The fuck? So, divide myself among a load of different stuff. So I need to give 100% of my focus to overture. And I did, and I'm proud. But now that that's done, the time has come for that. So the very, very late Christmas karaoke is going to happen. The very late Christmas karaoke is going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. I want to do that next week. And you know what I might even do? It's been a long time. I might actually do a schedule. Oh my god, how long has it been? Murasaki, thank you for the Akasupa. Akuma! Akuma! Lisa, thank you for the super. I might do a schedule. How long has it been since I've done a schedule, right? I'd like to. I'd like to do a schedule. So, I owe you guys the Christmas karaoke, and I owe you all the JP karaoke, which will take a little longer, because I need to learn. I need to learn those songs, because learning JP songs takes a lot of time and effort. A lot of time and effort. But I have a set list I've figured out with some songs that I really like. Some of them I'm already a little familiar with. Some of them will take more time. But given a little bit of, we go for a little bit. We'll learn it a little bit. I think it'll be good. So, you guys, was it really? My last schedule was in September? Holy shit. Well, to be fair, I know what I've been doing. I've been very busy. Oh, Jesus Christ, I've been very busy since then. Cindy, thank you very much for the super. So, yes. Teaser, yeah. I'll do a teaser for the fucking Christmas karaoke. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Hey. You know. But no, I'm not gonna reveal any of the contents of the JP ones so far, because I'm still working on it. I'm still working on it, trying to figure out which ones I really, really want to do and which ones I might be overreaching with, because there's some tricky stuff here, but I've got the bug. I'm so excited to keep singing. It's so fun. Cindy, thank you so much for the super. And Mianya, thank you very much. Always shine bright. I hope I will. I will certainly try. Is my lord a fan of Pride and Prejudice 2005? I am. I'm such a fan, in fact. That was the film that made me realize I liked men. I liked Adam Driver before then, but all of the internalized homophobia had built up, you know? It's not that obviously I'm not homophobic, but, those things affect you, and I was like, no, I'm not gay. I'm not gay, though. But then I watched Mr. Darcy, and I was like, oh, I get it. Right? It was funny. So that's life, right? So yeah, I'm a big fan of that film. Sometimes I'll put it on another monitor on mute just to kind of look at it occasionally and be like, it's a very beautiful movie and a beautiful story. And keep me very lively for the super. And Masato, thank you so much for the super. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. Love George Michael. Love Wham. Wham. So yes, I owe those to you guys. Christmas karaoke, if I can help it, will be next week, and all the perms have been checked, so I'm good to do it whenever. Christmas karaoke will be next week. And otherwise, I want to do member stream. I want to do member RuneScape. Thinking I might play Hearthstone on stream as well. That'd be fun. We need to do more watch-alongs. There are lots of good movies to watch. Can you lock the fuck in? Can you lock the fuck in? Right. So, I'm going to do that. And what else? So that's going to be good. I want to play some games. There are games coming out that I want to try. I want to play Me-Side. That might be fun. I like woman jump scare. That sounds hot. Some other games that I want to do. Also thought of some fun creative ideas. Everyone within this corporation has been begging me to do another YouTube poop stream. So I think I just kind of have to at this point. I can't promise that'll be next week, but at some point I would like to. Yeah, just let's figure it out. I'd like to do some collabs. I'd like to do some streaming, actually. I auditioned for NIJISANJI to be a streamer, and I would like actually to stream. This is like my 7th stream this year, and it's almost March. Isn't that mad? I mean, we're working on Overture, but it's kind of funny to think about. I think by this time in 2022, I had probably done more than 100 streams by this time of the year. Masato, thank you very much for the super. Hehe. Kayono, thank you very much. Monstrosity. I love you, Daisuke. Thank you. Sai. Oh yeah, I should play Love in Deep Space at this point. I should play Love in Deep Space. I got a real earful. People of Silas fans telling me I'm wrong about Silas. I'm like, alright, fine. Maybe I'm wrong about him, fine. Okay. I reserve the right. I reserve the right to be jealous. I reserve the right, but maybe there's more to those boys than meets the eye, so maybe I should play Love in Deep Space. I still think my main man is going to be Zane, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Silas can tempt me. I don't know. Oh yeah, and I want to play more Marvel as well, because I've been having fun with that. I've been, while I was away, I couldn't play it very much. Obviously, didn't have too much time. And also my laptop couldn't run it very well, so I was only playing quick play, but I was labbing a couple other characters. Mainly Iron Fist. I've been playing a lot of Iron Fist, and so that's been fun. Just sort of goofing around in quick play mostly with Iron Fist, and that's been pretty good. So no longer a Wolverine one-trick. Been playing playing a little bit of Iron Fist, and after the changes that make him more of a frontline brawler, having a lot of fun with that character. So that's been good. Mabo Raibo. And otherwise, I'll just figure some stuff out. I'll figure it out. I'll do some cool stuff, and you and I are going to get a chance to chill. Isn't that going to be so great? Right? It's going to be so great. I'm really happy. I'm really happy that everything worked. Everything worked out a treat. We've got some fun stuff to look forward to. Tori, thank you so much for the super. Entertainment is amazing. Hee hee. Glad you think so. My foot is injured. I don't know how. It felt fine. I don't think it was from the dancing. It felt fine after the show. But like right as I was getting home after my long trip, suddenly my toes on one of my feet just started hurting like hell. I was like, what the fuck? And I woke up this morning. It was like, it didn't look swollen, but it felt swollen. So I've had some frozen peas on it. And I've got it wrapped in some like, I don't have any plasters, but I wrapped it in some toilet paper and just kind of like softened it a bit. And it's feeling better, but it still hurts. I'm like, damn, I wonder how that happened. Probably just walked on it funny. I don't know. Thank you, Odessa, for the super. And thank you, Jelly. Saiko no Raibu. No, Saiko no Aidoru. I keep getting Raibu and Aidoru mixed up. I guess A and Ra, the katakana. They don't look the same, but it's like, I guess A is like the downward line is moved over a bit. So I can see why I get that mixed up, because Raibu, Aidoru. Yeah, I get it. Don't have bandages out because I'm stupid. The adrenaline is over finally, and now my body is like, alright buddy, you're dead. You died on stage. You just kept performing. Like Jacob's Ladder. It's like, you are already dead. Omae wa mou shindeiru. Ori no na wa daigaku kara no jimi ni mimi. Sai, thank you very much for the super. Give me a title. Can I make a Niji journal dedicated for your best memories? How about Jimmy's scrapbook? Jimmy's scrapbook. That's cute. Kinda in shock you had an idol arc. Who says it's over? Maybe I'm going to be able to do all of that. Imagine that. Imagine all of that at once. Filmmaker, streamer, voice demon, idol. I could do it all. Haha. Jimmy, ni, me. Nihongo study streams. I've been getting it's fun to learn, you know? It's fun to learn, and you want to know why? For me, I look forward to learning a little more JP because I think I sound really cool when I speak Japanese. I think that's just a big point of motivation. I'm like, you know. Nihongo muzukashi. Ha. They did. Yes, I had a long chat with my parents just this morning, actually. And they were both very chuffed. We say that in the UK. Chuffed means you're very pleased. Very chuffed. They were very happy, and they watched the whole performance, you know, they didn't just skip to my parts, they watched everybody, and they were really pleased with everybody, and it was great. It was really great. They were very, very proud. It was like my mum said, she watched my solo 700 times. That was very sweet. And my dad really enjoyed it too. So there you go. Imagine how that feels for them. Imagine how that feels for them. They didn't even know that I could sing. I couldn't sing a couple of years ago, and then I just kind of bum rushed it. That's just been how it's gone for me with singing. Is that I'm suddenly in a position where they're like, "Hey, you need to sing," and I'm like, "Okay," and then it's painful and it's stressful and I hate it, but in that process, in that stressful, agonizing process, I forged my singing voice in flames. And now it sounds pretty rad, I think. I actually can't remember who asked me. The one point where I realized that I was actually getting good at it and not just good for my standards, I cannot remember who it was, genuinely. But one of the people from Overture asked, have you been doing singing lessons? Like, it's like, was it singing lessons? Like, how, it was like a phrase like, how did you do it? And the answer is actually no. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have done singing lessons. My process for learning how to sing has been, you have a song you need to do, and you can't sing it. You just have to figure it out. So just scream as much as you can, and eventually you will get it done. And it's gotta be before a deadline, or else. Yeah. Lulu, thank you for the super. Jeremy Abel, thank you. Not that familiar with your singing, but damn dude, your King rendition was excellent. I mean, the reason you're probably not familiar is I have not been singing for very long. I did some songs for my 3D debut, and I did a cover a little while ago, but that was like a long time ago, and I still didn't really have the theory down for singing much at all at that time. It does sound good, but I reckon I could do that song. I could do everything I've sung so far a lot better these days. Which is an exciting feeling, you know? To think that at the time I thought, man, I'm doing this real good, and nowadays I'm like, man, I could do better. Ming, thank you for the super. Lynn, thank you very much. Fun stories about NIJIFES. Did you meet any JP or EN livers for the first time? I did. Right. So obviously a lot of JP livers met them at NIJIFES for the first time, but there is one EN liver that I met who I have not met previously. This music is too emotional because this was silly. I now have met Doppio Dropscythe in person, and he is just as insane IRL as he is online. Doppio Dropscythe is fucking crazy. You know, when he arrived, I knew he was there, but I hadn't met him yet. And then I was just hanging out with the others, we were just shooting the shit, chilling, and then I see him walk in. I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, hey, what's going on? I just assumed, there was like, I was in my head like, oh, who is that? And then it dawned on me. That's Doppio Drop. I recognize that hair anywhere. That's Doppio Drop Scythe. And he came up and he was like, Vox Senpai, oh, it's you! And he is the most energetic hugger of all time. What do you mean, was he taller? Yes. You have detailed information about our heights. I'm 178. He is 187. When I murdered those 3 men back in November, I grew to 220, and I was much taller than him for a while. He is a very jumpy, aggressive hugger in a very nice way, and he's just very silly. He's just a very silly guy. He's a very, very silly guy. His silliness is dialed up to 11 at all times. Maureen, thank you for the super. Kokonosuke, thank you so much for the super. And Robin Bird, thank you very much. Sorry for drawing your dad with too much hair. That's fine. I mean, you don't know my dad. But yeah, my dad is very bald. My dad is very, very bald. One of the baldest people you could ever meet. So bald, in fact, you know. Bald in more ways than you would imagine. Bolder, perhaps, than anyone has ever been. Is he different IRL? People ask me these questions and I don't understand. The Doppio Drop Scythe you see on stream is the Doppio Drop Scythe that I met online. I met IRL. No change. That's what it looks like. People say, when are you going to do a face reveal? Motherfucker, this is my face. You're looking at it right now. You people don't make sense to me. I guess it's because I'm very beautiful and you kind of don't think it's real, but it is. This is who I am. Okay? Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate. I was confused why everyone was saying Baldur's Gate, but then perhaps, yes, I fear my dad is bolder than Baldur's Gate. Speaking of which, I still haven't played Baldur's Gate. I probably should do that. Oh, yes! And you know what else? Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Switch is out. I think it might be time for a comeback of Donkey Kong Choose Ape. Because I'll be real, Donkey Kong 64 is great, but it's very exhausting as a game to stream. It's a very long game, massive in scope. Setup is very grainy and difficult. Kind of just want to... We've played it a bunch. Kind of just want to leave that one behind and then go for Donkey Kong. Because I miss Donkey Kong Country 1 through 3. Those games were so hard, but so fun. I want to jump in and do some Donkey Kongu. Donkey Kong Country Returns. David Wise soundtrack. Hell yeah. I'm ready for that. Thinking about Busted Bayou. David Wise. Beautiful. Can't believe that one day that man DM'd me on Twitter. David Wise, the composer of some of the greatest video game music ever, just DM'd me and said, thanks for the follow. I really like your song. I was like, what? Just had a nice chat with him, you know, talked about, I brought up, you know, how impressed I was with his work, and that was that. It was just a very bizarre sequence of events. Very bizarre sequence of events. I was playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor. And then David Wise messaged me. Do you think he tuned into Overture? Maybe he did. Maybe he did. That was a while ago. It was like a couple of years ago now. Or at least 1 year. Misty, thank you for the super. He spooked you when he was nodding off on a train. Oh, that is true. Yeah. I was hanging out with Luca. He was, He was like asleep. Whether he was like actually asleep or pretending to be asleep, he just... I was looking at him, I was like, look at this guy. I was like, look at this guy, whomp whomp, and then he opens his eyes like... Scared the shit out of me. It didn't scare me so much, I was like, ooh. Didn't expect him to wake up like that, because Luca can fall asleep anywhere. Sometimes he's just like, alright, go. I wish that were me. You know? I can fall asleep like that if I'm tired enough. If I'm tired enough, if I've been up for so long that I'm like in a position where I could afford to sleep, sometimes I will just There was a time a few months ago when we were at karaoke. There was like a lot of people at karaoke back in November. Vox, I'm watching your stream. No way. No, you're not. No, you're not. Nah. No. Yeah, I fully not. Oh god, I did, didn't I? See, you know how hard I was working. You know. The time I fell asleep at the end of stream, that was real. I knocked out for like 5 minutes. But, yeah, it was November karaoke. I remember singing with everybody and I was really tired. And apparently I fell asleep, sat up for like 45 minutes in the middle of a loud-ass karaoke room. I was just... It's a little embarrassing, but it's quite funny. But yeah, JP livers that I met. Met a lot of JP livers. So many that I don't think I could even list them all off easily. Met so many. But it was always nice. I think sometimes, I guess for me with the language barrier, it's easy to feel like, not a disconnect, but it's easy to feel like I miss a lot of what goes on in JP and that I'm not really fully in tune with the culture as much as I'd like to be. But something so nice was that when I arrived at NIJIFES for one day that I was doing the audiovisual room, doing the meet and greets, I had some waiting to do, went to the waiting room, and there was a massive table of all JP. I was like, oh boy. So I saw them all just look up, see me, like, who is this guy? And I say, boxu Akuma desu, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And they all went, oh! Like, they were very excited to see me. And it was like, it was really, like, I was like, wow. You know? I almost kind of didn't expect it. They were just very excited to see me. Yeah. Yeah, it was very cool. And as well as that, yes, I did meet Fuaminato and Mito senpais each. And that was quite good. I was trying to speak what little Japanese I could, and I think Fuaminato was trying to speak what little English he could. And it was, we couldn't talk about much. We don't really have an overlapping language, but they were both happy to see me, and you know, and it's quite funny. And I'm glad I can talk about this because I know Minato Senpai mentioned this on his stream. It was so funny and very surreal and very flattering. But he and I were talking, and Mito Senpai just wasn't really saying anything. She was kind of looking up at me. I was chatting for what little we were able to say to each other in the language that we knew we were saying. And he introduces us, oh, this is Mito Senpai. I said, oh, very excited, very happy to meet you, you know, yoroshiku onegaishimasu. And she said, I love you. I was like, what the fuck? That's like absolute titan of the industry. One of the first NIJISANJI livers ever. One of the most influential, craziest people, skydiving, like, insane stuff. And I was like, wow. Thank you? I was... barely knew how to react, but incredibly flattered to just, yeah, you know. The JP is such a huge thing. It's such a monolith of entertainment, and there are so many talented people in JP. And as someone who doesn't speak much Japanese at all, you know, it can sometimes feel very far away and very intimidating. But to go there and to be reminded how they all know who we are, and they all really support EN. They love EN. And it's really reassuring. They're very kind. They're a very, very kind bunch, you know? Very kind. And yeah, that's it, you know? Just really happy to be part of the team. Very happy to be part of the team. We all worked together and we're all going to do some great stuff. All of us. This is what we do. We create this magical new experience. Kaisei, yes, met Kaisei. I met Lunlun, which is adorable. Lunlun is so adorable and so tiny. Genzuki, I'm trying to remember. There's so many of them, and I feel terrible for not being able to remember all their names. Sohayase met. She's lovely. Fuck. yeah, just so many of them. Like, far too many for my little brain to remember. Oh, and met back up. I've met, Volt Action before. But met a few members of Volt, like Watarai. Saw him again. He's great, super handsome, incredible singer. Seraph and the other Volt Action guy. I remember I met those two. I can't quite remember if I met the others as well. It's very tricky. It's very tricky. There's so many wonderful people in JP. It was great. It was great. I'm really glad I got to meet them. When they're excited to meet me, I was like, wow, so cool. Damien, thank you for the super. Aw, I love you too. At a concert in Bristol. Bristol's nice. Hopefully you feel better soon. We're all part of the Jimmy Nation. And I hope I can keep inspiring them, and you know, and they all keep inspiring me, and we can do great work together. That's all I want to do. I'd like to learn more. It made me want to learn more Japanese so I could actually, you know, more easily communicate with these guys, and you know, maybe one day I'll get to do collabs with JP without needing to rely on someone to translate. Although, to be fair, me not speaking Japanese created one of the greatest dynamics I've ever had with a member of JP, which was me and Sasaki Senpai when she, Alira, and I played PUBG for the Kuzuha Cup. And she used her limited English, and Alira translated a little bit. And she, box fat, please. Oh, big fat! Just one of the sweetest interactions I've had with anybody, possibly in my entire life. What an amazing Fato! Big fat! Yeah, so cool. Man, I'm happy. Very happy. Very happy that I got to do this. Very happy that I got to experience this. It's just the most wonderful gift that keeps on giving. May, thank you for the super. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. So happy to have met you. I'll always support you. Thank you. The ice cream truck spawning in. So funny. Yeah, I just think about how much I got to do while I was there, and it's the most amazing, amazing, amazing thing. The most amazing thing in the world. Because, you know, selling out a concert like that. What a life. What a life, right? I'll never get over it. I'll never get over it. How usual will be streamed now? I'm gonna try and aim for like 4 times a week, probably. I'm not going to be able to stream for the next couple of days because I've got some family stuff that I need to attend to. You know, there's always going to see people like that, but it's not too much, and it's not going to be too difficult like it has been before, but it's just going to be, you know, seeing people. But then once that's done, next week, I want to make a schedule. I want to set it at a pace that I feel like I can do my best, and hopefully, finally get some really good routine going. Because we developed some good routine while we were away, and now that I'm back, I want to keep the ball rolling, you know, be healthy and all that kind of stuff. You know what else is fun? You know what else is fun? I don't just want to keep singing. I want to keep dancing too. I want to keep dancing. I want to make some space in my home, and I want to practice moves. I want to learn how to do different things, you know. I want to keep stretching and doing all of these things. You never know what you're going to wind up doing. Hey, Shu. You should do the Itan Stay Tonight song. I don't know what that is, actually. Am I going to recognize it? Oh, of course. Ah, Fua Minato, of course. I'd like to immediately make an apology to everybody that I'm just very unfamiliar with so much in this world. Oh, the dance on that. Oh, yeah, that is fun. That is fun. Yeah, I'd love to do that. I think that's the difficult thing. That's the difficult thing. I feel like I should know every single... I feel like I should know all the music that people from EN, NJP, and beyond have done. But you gotta understand, people at NIJISANJI make a lot of music. There's so much, and there are so many times when a song will come out, and I don't even hear about it sometimes, because some of these guys just make so much music. It's cool. It's difficult to keep up with. But I guess it means there's always stuff for me to discover. But yeah, I should do that. That'd be fun. I just want to learn stuff. I want to learn stuff. I want to keep dancing. I want to keep singing. Think about me, you know? Thinking about what I've done. What I thought were my limits in life, and then being like, hey, in a couple of years' time, you're gonna want to learn to sing and dance. Like, what? Since when? It's like, yeah, and you don't just do low notes. You can do high notes now, too. I can do fucking what? Get a VR chat model and do dance streams. That does sound fun. 3-year member badge. Yes, I'll remember to do that eventually. But also, the MV for Minotaur songs. Do you want to know something? Do you want to know something? I've thought about this. And I'm almost glad that I let my task paralysis stop me from uploading them. Because I low-key want to try and do my songs from Minotaur again. You know? I feel like I could do way better these days with the vocals in those songs. I feel like I could do them better. You know? Like, I think back about my singing ability at the time, and I had improved a lot in order to do those. But I've certainly improved a hell of a lot more now. There's a lot more that I'm able to do now. I listen to those songs, I'm like, man, I did well for the time, but I'd like to give it a go. I'd like to give it a go at maybe when I upload them, it's a refined version based on me having learned more, you know? Beware the man with crimson horns and wings. Every cover / live oh my god, genuinely though? Genuinely, there are so many parts. I get it. I completely get it. I said this about Heavy Lies the Head as well. I was like, I felt like I learned so much more about breath control right after we did Heavy Lies the Head. And I'm like, man, I feel like I could have just... If I just had like the little bit, like an extra day to do that, oh man. Heavy Lies the Head is really good anyway, but I'm like, I could have done better. But it's done now. You can't go back on that. It's done. It's tough, but it's exciting. This is why you sometimes accept what you got at the time for the next one. That's how it goes. You know, that's how it goes. Sometimes some things are set in stone, and they are a milestone that you can look back on and be like, this is how I was at the time. It's a marker for how much you've improved. But, you know, while those songs from Minotaur don't have a definitive music video of their own yet, only How to Get Away with Murder does, which I already don't feel like I really need to redo. I'm pretty proud of how I did on that one. The red stares back. So next one. We go next. We go next. Man. The thought of getting to do a stage like that again, I don't know how many years it'll be before getting to do a stage like that again. If I ever get to do a stage like that again. I just know that when the day comes and I get that ping, I'm gonna jump for, like, where, but I'm thinking about that growth. You know? Thinking about that growth. And how before I would have been like, but when I got the notification for this, I didn't even understand what it was fully. And now it's just changed my life 100%. I'm going to absolutely jump out of my chair. I'm going to rocket through the ceiling if I get another ping like that. What am I doing? An opera song? Opera? Do you know how hard opera is? Pizza, pasta, put it in a box. Put it on my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock, my cock. Cheesy on a peony and a salsa on my walls. I don't know. Opera singing is like one of the highest level things in singing. From my understanding, opera singing must be like one of the hardest forms of singing to do. Let me Google this real quick. How hard is it to sing opera? It must be one of the hardest ones. Yeah, right? See, this is 5 comments on a post in r/singing. Idea of opera is the hardest singing form. Yeah, that guarantees it. Subscribed. Cheesy on a peony and a salsa on my balls. The opera. RG, thank you for the super. Glad you enjoyed Minotaur. Love to see you do it again. I think I might. Entirely different skill set. Yeah, of course, it's like so regionally specific. I didn't even think about that. But speaking of Minotaur, there's something I saw on Twitter that was really cool. Was somebody had a film class and brought in Minotaur and a few scenes from that and said, hey, let's analyze these scenes. And I'm like, people in a class sat and analyzed scenes from a... Yeah. Sat and analyzed scenes from a film that I made? That's so cool. That's so cool. And like the horse scene and asking what people thought of the horse scene and knowing that the emotions hit. Like that the intended thing of, oh, it's funny, and then the gut-wrenching sort of drop from funny to scary worked. I'm like, yes! Come on, man. It's so exciting. Knowing that art is brilliant because when you make art and it hits in the right way, brilliant. But when you also make art, when it hits in the intended way, it's brilliant. But when people come up with a brand new interpretation of it, that's also very beautiful. And there's been plenty of that. There's been plenty of that in some scenes from Minotaur especially. But yeah, it's very cool. It's a very cool experience. So glad. No matter how expensive and stressful both the Demon Hungers and Minotaur were to put together, that level of self-expression is something I hope everybody gets to experience at some point. Minotaur especially, I think. Like, getting to design those shots and getting to come up with such a wacky, creative thing. The horse equals chaos. Yeah. I kind of get it. It's like the idea of harmony being interrupted by, oh, there's a fucking horse here now. And that is kind of what my life feels like sometimes. I'll be having a nice stream, and then suddenly I get a Slack ping. It's like, hey, you're going to be in this concert. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in my life? Right? Physical merch for Minotaur. I would, if staff gave me the opportunity, I would definitely push for that kind of a thing. You know what would be cool? It's like a Blu-ray. Like a Blu-ray, a 2-disc Blu-ray that has Demon Hungers and Minotaur on it. You know? And then you can watch them both back to back. Because I feel like Demon Hungers and Minotaur are like almost two sides of the same whole, even though they're made very differently. Demon Hungers very much feels like the crushing, sad first act of the whole story, and then Minotaur is the very dark but ultimately hopeful resolution to a lot of the emotions that I kind of spoke about in the Demon Hungers. And then Plastic Cow bonus feature. Yeah, Plastic Cow. A moo, he said. Second Blu-ray contains the bloopers where all Shuyumino appearances are replaced with a banana. This is so true. So goofy thinking about the 3D debut behind the scenes as well. Like the picture of you and Mishu when you were me. Like just giving a thumbs up and shit like that. That was like one of the most fun things. It must be really fun to get to dress up as somebody. It reminds me of when we did Millie's 3D, and I was Millie and you were Millie and everyone was Millie, and then I got to be Millie for a little while. That was fun, you know. You know what it is? I was saying this during rehearsal. I think coming into a lot of the songs, because I'm not a singer by trade, obviously. Most of my experiences with acting. I think that the songs that help me get into the spirit of it easiest would be the ones where I'm kind of playing a character. Like Waneto Shampoo being a song about being a schoolgirl who needs to finish her homework. Suddenly, when Marion informed me that was in fact what the song was about, it helped me lock in, and something about realizing that, I felt like I could leave myself behind and be method a little bit. Do the choreography, but be like, okay, no, I am no longer Vox Akuma stood on the stage at Overture. I am a girl who needs to finish her homework. And hey, it worked pretty well. I liked a lot of the free movement I did where I was like spinning in circles trying to finish write a note or something else. And thank God! Yes, I forgot about that part. Thank Christ. The pose at the end where I lift up one leg like an ostrich and I chin hands. Every rehearsal, I stumbled. Every rehearsal, I was like wobbling. On the day, boom! Planted my leg into the ground. Boom! Stunning. Stunning. Right, Corge Judge. That would be bizarre. Almost as bizarre as the horse scene, as if you had Vox Akuma, the plaintiff, Vox Akuma, the judge, Vox Akuma, the jury, and then a banana. That would be really out of left field. I would have done that though. I would have done that if we had the resources to have pulled a banana out at that time. Hey, if we had the budget to get a banana in there, probably would have worked pretty well. Woof. Yeah, I love that RP. Alright, fellas. My voice is getting pretty tired now, so I think I am going to give it a rest. So, just want to say thank you very much for a wonderful, wonderful stream. I had a fantastic time talking about some stories from Overture, and looking forward to everything that we're going to do in the next few weeks. I'm so happy that I finally have this time and that I'm not busy anymore and I can stream again. But of course, I am sad that I don't get to be on that stage anymore, and I'm going to miss those guys so much. But that's neither here nor there. All we can do now is do our best and have fun together and keep building ourselves up, keep building up EN into the monolith of entertainment that I know it can become. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you all in a couple of days' time. I would like to do some member streams. I would like to do some gaming and some creative stuff too, but we'll see. And next week, on the weekend, this is a promise, the Christmas karaoke will be happening. Tarushka, thank you for the super. And Vox's Goldfish, I'm glad you were there too. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Drive safe, and remember, like I said, there is still time. Bye-bye!